Hey everyone, Cynics here, and Chroma Core 2022 is finally finished. Yep, it's all wrapped up in the books. We got our winners, we got all of our good memories, and I'm here to share it all with you because as much as I would like to make YouTube more incorporated in Chroma Core and all the fun, it's just difficult. I have to run the contest through Discord. Doing little tiny daily streams has to be done on Twitch just to not clutter things up. But nonetheless, I'm looking forward to sharing it all with you right now. So, as a quick summary, Chroma Core is my giant yearly art contest / summer camp, where we basically just go in a Discord for a month and a half and do a bunch of cool art stuff in the framework of a giant art contest. There's two main parts to the contest. There's the entry phase, where everyone's free to make a little cadet character, and then some of those cadets get selected by team captains, and then those selected cadets get to go into the boot camp phase, which is just a grueling endurance contest. People have to do environments, illustrations, industrial design, graphic design, a little bit of everything until there's only one person left, or at least that's the idea. But first, let's talk a little bit more about that entry phase. So once again, we had well over 1,000 entries this year, and the bar of quality just keeps getting higher. I was trying to keep track and keep all of my favorites together. I actually had a little Word document here where I would just be going through each day and just copying and pasting the names and the posts of just tons of different entries, because you never know how many you're gonna get. So I'm just like, oh, this one's really good. I'll save this one. I'll save this one. And before I knew it, I had over 300 entries saved, which is a lot. You know, it's kind of even hard to just pick through when you have a few hundred. So I did manage to trim it down to a smaller list. I forget how many, like about 100 are in here, of my absolute favorites, just to share with you all. But it's just all types of people, from people that are just really good at lines or shapes or personality or just fun industrial stuff. Some people are returning cadets, like Overgang here, Sad Frog regulars. We've seen a lot of people with amazing color, people with amazing rendering, like Enix, familiar faces, Sabi, just all sorts of people. I would go through them all. But I don't even know if I have time for that. So yeah, it was just a great time seeing all these amazing entries just everywhere. Just once again, crazy renderings, crazy characters, very creative stuff, just really fun. And of course, during that entry phase, the whole Discord is just a buzz with chatter and all kinds of fun stuff. There are memes going on. We got Andre probably made the most notable meme of this year, which was Tiny Cynics, or Tynix. Just this little guy that just keeps showing up everywhere. I don't know if you'll see him in some of the art pieces, but he's definitely sneaking. Oh wait, there he is right there. He's definitely sneaking around in a lot of these entries, just because he was so, I don't know, popular. Just a tiny little mockery of me, I guess. But yeah, just amazing entries this year from all types of styles, all types of artistic backgrounds represented. Just everything from crazy Sharpie characters like this. Yeah, there's a little bit of stuff here for everyone. You know, no matter what kind of style of art you're into, you're probably going to find something you absolutely love in here. A lot of returning favorites, a lot of returning just, you know, people. Honestly, it's just great to see the same people year after year. I didn't do the best job, and I never do the best job of necessarily recruiting new people. I know the YouTube posts are like kind of cryptic, and if you don't know what it is, you're probably not going to click something that just says Chroma Core announcement. But for those of the people that do find out about it and do take the time to actually join and come in here, it's just so much fun. There's just so much good art, guys. And I absolutely love it. Even if the whole contest was just this entry phase, it's already worthwhile. It's already worth taking as much of my time as possible just to see all of the cool art that everyone's making. Because, I mean, just look at them all. Just look at how good they are. Some people just have such a good sense of lighting. Oh, Storce, what a great piece. yeah, just shapes, lighting, rendering, line work, basic design stuff, just creating likable characters, you know? And it's just great to see. So that's been wonderful and amazing, and I am super duper lucky to have such a great community of people. And don't get super intimidated if you're looking at all this and you're like, well, I was gonna enter, but now that I see all this amazing stuff, I don't know if I feel comfortable. No, it's welcoming to people of all skill levels. We're all just here because we love art and we love getting better at art and we love sharing that passion with other people. So all these characters, you know, just a whole lot of fun, and we're all just having a great time creating characters, looking at characters, just seeing all the fun stuff people are making. So yeah, the entry phase was just a blast as always. I'm sorry I didn't tag everyone in the server sooner, but you know, hopefully most of the people that wanted to do it got a chance to do it this year, because it's just a great time, and I'm already looking forward to next year, and I think a lot of the people in here are already looking forward to next year. Now, sadly, I don't get to pick cadets, or maybe not sadly, because, you know, honestly, I wouldn't even know where to go. If it was just up to me, I'd probably be picking Naka here. We got Silver Star from last year. There's just so many good ones. But it's not up to me, and you might remember last year I had Steven Zapata and Ahmed Aldori as the team captains. Well, this year I have Modern Day James, Ethan Becker, and Sam Does Arts. And don't worry, we're going to check out that Chroma Core Cadet Draft in just a moment. I just wanted to keep looking at some of these art pieces. Because they're just enjoyable, you know? The best thing about this server is that all of you who are watching this, you can go in here right now. This is a giant art museum. During all of the time when Chroma Core is not happening, this is one of the biggest art museums you can find, because there is just tons of art in here to go through. You can go through every assignment. You can go through all of the follow-alongs. You can go through just all of the entries. And you can take a look at just all of this illustration. If you're ever feeling like you want to look at some art, I know there's a lot of art to look at on the internet, but this is a pretty fun place to just go and browse some delightful art. Let me just mention one more thing. The prizes for this year. Obviously, this is a community really driven thing. I don't get any sponsors. I don't want any sponsors, honestly. I just want it to be a very, you know, kind of do it for the love of it, not do it for any kind of bigger reward or anything. But nonetheless, I like to have a little bit of prizes. So the winners, they'll get a little bit of merch from our merch store. They'll also get access to Ahmed Aldori's wonderful Meds map course. You'll also get access to my upcoming brainstorm class, the abstract design theory one. I have a lot of fun teaching them, so, you know, if you're interested in taking a little weekly 2-hour class for 5 weeks coming up soon. But enough about me just pouring through all these lovely entries, because I think we should just move ahead. I don't want this video to be 2 hours, so let's just dive straight into the stream that took place after the entry phase, where all of our team captains finally got to pick their teams. Hello everyone, I am joined with the wonderful Modern Day James in the upper left, Ethan Becker in the upper right, yes, and Sam Does Arts. Yes, I used to say Sam.
All right, so I'm looking through all the entries right now. These are really, really amazing, like some of the best artists, honestly, that I've ever seen in my life.
There are a lot of people in the entries that are doing stuff far better than what I can do.
For sure, I would say most of them, probably all.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, so today is the day we have locked all of our submissions. For the record, we had around 1,500 submissions again this year, which is a lot. I know no one wants to say it, but everyone that participated was thinking it too. They're thinking there's too many artists out there. So now's a good day to, you know, find a new hobby.
Also, you don't have to, I mean, like, you can still stay in art, but you can paint, but like paint walls or something. You don't have to do that.
But anyway, we're going to pick our teams. So you guys are all going to have your own little amazing team of 6 little art cadets that are going to represent you in glorious battle day after day until only one remains.
I do have a question though.
Yes.
So, can we see what everybody's wearing underneath the
I have a black t-shirt.
Shorts.
Ooh.
shorts? Okay, how short? Can you show me how short those are?
Do you?
Okay.
I'm not.
I mean,
Okay.
How about that?
oh man, we can't talk about that.
You guys all have the short. Actually, I'm surprised, James. Those shorts might be shorter than Ethan's shorts.
I gotta do what I gotta
Whoa.
do, man.
What are we talking about? What kind of inseam we working with over here?
You
What
know,
do we got?
we-
We got like
we-
a 3-inch inseam, or what are we doing here?
Well, I did lift him up. Oh, we're getting full butt there.
Okay.
Getting a little too much.
Okay. All right. Anyway, off topic. We gotta keep going. So we got all these people here. We're ready to pick some cadets. We're ready to pick some teams. We're gonna do a dodgeball style, just like last time, which means we'll have to figure out who's going first. But we're gonna take turns picking cadets until you each have 6 cadets.
Do we do paper, rock, scissors to find out who goes first, or what?
Rock, paper, scissors is the way to go. We need to discuss the way you said that, Ethan. I'm a
Paper,
little
rock,
confused.
scissors. Paper, rock, scissors.
Paper.
Oh, okay. You want
I think it's rock, paper, scissors. If
No. No. Are you artists or not? Come on, what's going on?
All right, we can do some paper, rock, scissors for this.
All right, let's try it out. Let's see who goes first. All right. 3, 2, 1, shoot. Okay, James, you're last.
I'm out.
You're done. You're done.
Damn.
You're done. It's just Ethan and Sam now. That was brutal. I think they tricked you. Everyone knows, by the way, scissors is the worst thing you can do on the first one. I just want to mention this. This is important for psychology reasons. I think the odds are like it's like 50% that people do rock on the first one. So you never want to do.
I didn't know that.
Never want to do it. It's by far the most common.
rock.
Now I'm saying, by the way, I'm saying all this.
Paper, though?
What's that?
Given that most people go for rock, should you go for paper?
That is
Most of the time?
generally people that go paper first win more often than not on the first one.
Okay, I'm gonna do paper.
Just so you know. Now, having said that, I just wanted to say it to get into their heads like intensely. I can see Sam's thinking about it a lot now that
I'm doing paper next. Ethan, I'm doing paper next.
Oh, he's doing it. Okay, we have a declaration. Sam is doing paper next. Okay, Ethan, just so you know, Sam will be doing paper.
I believe him.
Okay. All right, let's do it. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
I said I was gonna.
He did
I
it.
know. I want you to go first.
Okay.
Okay. So the order will be Sam, then Ethan, then James for our order. What's that?
I got a screenshot of it. And
Oh, nice.
The name is Baeloma, Baeloma.
There we go. Baeloma. I guess I never know how to pronounce it either. The number 1 selection. That's a great choice. Honestly, one of my favorites. One of my favorites by far. By the way, I forgot to mention team colors. Sam is Team Gold. Ethan Becker, Team Hot Pink. Modern Day James, Team Blue. All right, now Ethan, now is your time.
I'm gonna go for the notorious owl.
The thick thighs one.
You know what I'm talking about.
Thick
I go
thighs
for the
save
thick
lives.
thighs, baby.
All right, so owl, first pick on Team Hot Pink. All right, Modern Day James.
I'm gonna go with Dako, Dako. They made Moomba the friend-shaped moth. I really like it.
A great entry. I love the lighting and colors on that. It's very nice.
it's great.
But the shapes are what really. It's got me in the corner. Oh my! Wait, I feel like I got baited into this. I like bring it up and I'm like, oh, look at these shapes. These shapes are so good. And meanwhile, they're actively mocking me in the corner with a little cartoon version that says shapes on it. Jeez.
Damn.
I can't believe how did I get?
Perhaps that's why I picked this one. Maybe.
I feel like I'm getting like just completely destroyed in the marketplace of ideas right now. All right, everyone has 1 cadet. You are each gonna have 5 more to pick. So let's just hop into it. Sam, who do you got next?
I'm trying to decide between like 2 of them. I think I'm gonna go with I don't know how to say this name, but it's Vevolf.
Oh, Vivolf. Vivolf?
Yes.
Oh, that is.
Vevolf?
I know exactly the entry you're talking about. Also,
I love this piece. I love this so much.
oh yeah, no, this is a great pick.
Yeah, I saw this one too. I was like, God, I love the. It's more like animation style to the left. I love that.
Yeah, it's great.
Ethan, who you got?
So I'm going to choose. Definitely going to choose. I think it's called. The name is Puro Pena.
Puro Pena. I don't know how to say their name either. Sorry. But yes, that is a good choice. Solid. That is the next contestant on Team Hot Pink.
I like
Who
the
do you
culture
have?
in this one. Like the dress
Oh yeah.
and everything like that. Got a little taste to it. I like it.
All right,
For
James.
my
who do you got?
next entry, I'm gonna go with Palomar Chewbacca.
I'm familiar with Palomar, and I can give you a little background. And that Palomar is currently in Ukraine. Palomar is a Ukrainian citizen. Notable to me because dating back years in the past, Palomar was constantly just showing me different Ukrainian artists and how good they were.
Yeah, this one was super awesome. I hope they're doing okay. Obviously, with the situation in Ukraine, but they're killing it and making kick-ass art. So
Yeah, I love this jacket, by the way. I wish I had it.
I got a bad feeling Sam is about to choose the one I want. I know.
Sam,
it.
please choose the one he wants. You're up next, Sam.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I feel like our tastes are gonna probably diverge a little bit, but yeah. I think for the next one, I'm gonna go with. Let me just make sure this is the one. I think I'm gonna go with. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce this name, but Yauoiyi.
Yao Yi.
Yauoiyi.
That is a great pick. And by the way, a returning contender here. So you
That
got
was
some
one of my
got some
choices, man.
experience on the team right there.
That was one of your choices?
It was one of my
yeah,
choices.
mine as well.
Oh man.
Damn.
All right, Ethan, who do you got?
Okay, I'm gonna go, and I'm so glad nobody chose this artist because this is actually one of my top artists. I love this art style. The artist is called Greeblebot, the one with the more animation style to it. I love that. Very good simplified lines.
This one was on my list as well. Greeblebot was pretty great.
Mm-hmm.
A good pick, good pick. We have modern day James. Who you got?
I got Apple Chancery, which is a strange name, but I like that they had cool design, a bunch of poses with the design, and they put it into action, showing how the character would behave. So I thought that was super cool.
Yeah, somebody said in chat the bar is through the roof this year. This is insane.
Yeah, I love this one. That's a good one. This is a good one. All right, Sam, for your fourth pick, who you got?
I think for my next one, I'm gonna go with Overgang Dude.
Oh, classic. I love Overgang. Also another returning contender.
I got a good eye for this, huh?
Yeah, apparently. I can tell you, Sam does not know who competed previously, and he's sniffing them out. All right. Ethan, who you got for your fourth pick?
Okay, I've made my choice. I'm gonna go with Mega Rat.
Oh, you're talking about the turtle with the little hamster guy on him?
Right.
Yeah, no, I love that design.
I like that rendering style.
All right. James, who do you got?
I got to go with my gut, and I got to spite Ahmed Al-Douri for all those that know him. And I'm going to go with Fat Cat because they did a little cool 8-bit animation or pixel art animation, and I loved it.
Oh, okay. I know who you're talking about. Yes. Fat Cat had a full-on little animation, which means it's difficult to show on the stream because it doesn't pop out like the other ones do. I guess I can do this. Hold on. There we go. Make it giant. This is Fat Cat. Fat Cat pixel animation. Might be the first pixel artist cadet. Now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Obviously, last year we had the pixel lockdown because of Ahmed.
I totally disagree with his hatred of pixel art.
Well, we're up to the fifth picks now. So Sam, who do you got for number 5? You got 2 left for your team.
Okay, I think I'm gonna go with Wonky. Yeah, love the illustration style, like the composition, storytelling, the lighting. Fantastic.
Yeah, Yeah, this person's got chops. But yeah, that's a great entry. Big Booba, which I know Sam appreciates.
Yes, sir.
All right, Ethan, who you got?
I'm gonna go with Rosa V. The color and the rendering style in this is very gorgeous. I love this. And the proportions, the colors, it's just nice. It's very good.
Congrats to Rosa V. You're on Team Hot Pink.
All right. I'm gonna have to go with Daniela. She's got character designs there as well as like a painted version, and I kind of love it.
They demonstrated both their painting skills and like 2 different art styles.
Yeah, it's pretty epic.
That's pretty amazing, honestly.
I also love the distortion when the water gets in the bowl.
Yes, they did that so
I
well.
love that.
All right, nicely done. Well, this is the final pick for each of you. So, Sam.
Okay, final pick. Okay, I think I'm gonna go with Kusu, Kusu. It's such a cool illustration style. It just like really just caught my eye immediately when I saw it, and I was like, you know what? For the last one, let's go for it.
Okay, Kusu. Yeah, a very distinct look. It definitely stands out as being a very different style than a lot of the other entries we see. Nice. A nice wild card anchor pick there. All right, Team Gold is locked in for now. All right, Ethan, who's your final pick here?
This is tough because I just saw one with big thighs. Okay. All right. I've got one that I'm choosing, but I just want to do a few honorable mentions just because their art was so good. Vasher, you had some amazing, that design of yours is really sick. I love that. Dio Vice, your render is sick. I love that stuff. And Owen, I really love your rendering style on the skin and stuff like that. I really love that, and the hair as well. But I'm gonna go with Yugi Chu.
Yes.
The one with the character with the little finger coming up.
Yeah, very colorful choice. Yeah, nice. I mean, they did do the hot pink logo in the background. Got the little animated version, little shift over version. Nice. All right, Yugi Chu, congratulations. Another good, solid pick. The final pick of the day.
God
will
damn,
go
this
to
is
James.
so hard. There's so many.
You get to be the heartbreaker today.
So tough. I think I'm gonna go with Sheng, Sheng. Yeah,
I was really close to picking Shang. Really close.
Yeah, it's great stuff.
Shang, the final pick on Team Blue.
All right, listen here, Team Hot Pink. If you see these other kids on the court, you're gonna go for elbows and knees.
Great.
It would be a miracle.
Without fingers.
It would take a miracle for either of you guys to win. I'm just saying.
I like it.
Can we Photoshop like a UFC photo? We're all like face to face, angry at each other.
What do you mean Photoshop?
Whoa.
Oh, he's taking his clothes off. Okay. Oh, dang. Are those? Is that fresh
shit.
ink? I see.
Oh, nice cats. All right.
Oh, okay. We got a little
I see how it is.
tattoo battle.
Well, let's
See how
go.
it
Dang! Oh, we're getting all the reveals today. Okay, Sam's been working out.
You looking good, Sam?
Good lord, boy.
Good. There's too much protein going on in here.
Let's go.
All right. I'm ending this stream. So goodbye, everyone. Thank you for watching. Thank you all 3 team captains for coming by and doing honestly one of the most difficult selections I have ever seen. I do have a little bit of housekeeping though. On Team Gold, Yao Yi, one of our cadets from last year who was selected this year, could not participate in the actual boot camp. But luckily I had each of the 3 team captains pick a backup player just in case. So on Team Gold, Yao Yi is being replaced with Gulapa. So congrats to Gulapa. On Team Pink, everyone was able to compete, but we did have an alternate of the Sad Frog that was selected. And on Team Blue, we did have Azzy Sugito selected, but once again, everyone on Team Blue managed to compete in the boot camp. So now that we have our 18 cadets locked in, everyone that didn't get selected just gets washed down into Washout Alley, which sounds kind of bad, but it's actually a pretty fun place to be. You can just kind of enjoy the festivities, do the follow-alongs, have fun, make friends, etc. For those 18 cadets that did get selected, well, they move on into the boot camp phase. If they miss one day, they get washed out into Washout Alley. If they get 3 strikes by being the lowest entry in terms of my judging each day, having the weakest piece, then they also go down and get washed out into Washout Alley. So I think we can just hop right into it, and you'll figure it out as we go. Assignment number 1 was an environment, a craterous excavation site. I'm kind of picking up right where I left off last year with Chroma Core 2021. We had a big interdimensional explosion, destroyed our whole academy, etc., etc. It's very epic, very fun. But now we're left with nothing. There's no school. So we got to rebuild things. We got to have some excavation. We got to have some construction. And that's kind of my little theme to start out with everything. So first up, we have Palomar Chewbacca on Team Blue. And, starting off pretty solid. Got a lot of good shapes and colors and values and everything. Now, the separation between foreground, midground, background could be a little more distinctive. I don't like the way the foreground just kind of leads right into the midground. And there's some value choices that are a little questionable, like the darkness on this little crane here, some of the stuff in there. There's a couple little shape things, but for the most part, I definitely like what I'm seeing. It has a good energy, and I like the color choices. So looking good from Palomar. We have one from Algot here, who did a wonderful environment. A lot of good depth going on here. I love the kind of cool shadows being brought in on the warm highlight areas. It's just nice. I like to see those purples next to those oranges. So really good color choices. Some of the shapes and brushwork might get a little bit too choppy. Could be a little bit of space for some softer edges. But nonetheless, really strong looking piece. This foreground element might be just a little bit awkwardly placed just because it feels like everything's avoiding overlapping a little bit too much. So there's always a little bit of room for extra depth there. But I really like the colors and just general concept. I think doing it as a Polaroid also really works nicely. So great job, Algot. We had Yugi Chu, whose cadet was extremely colorful, and that carried through. Their actual pieces, extremely experimental with the colors, and I love it. Really strong reds and pinks, purples, blues, just a little bit of everything. The shape design on some of these clouds and the birds and everything, just nice and confident. This little kind of guitar-shaped excavation site is probably pretty interesting. I don't know if it's intentional, but every time I see this little guy that might as well be me that they're uncovering, I always feel like he's in the Yamcha defeated pose, in the crater, just off to the side. But really good stuff from Yugi Chu. Just lovely color choices, very experimental. And then we had Vivo from Team Gold. Just some nice little environmental architecture going on here. I do like some of the shapes I'm seeing. Some nice big, medium, small. Some nice, kind of really exaggerated shapes. The only thing I could say is that the kind of focal point mapping feels a little bit just like centered on right here. And there's not a whole lot of good read to go around the page. But nonetheless, looks pretty great. Could just use maybe some lighting effects to give yourself some secondary focal points. But I really like what I'm seeing there. And then we had Biloma on Team Gold as well. And Biloma is extremely strong at industrial design. So you can see Biloma trying to fit their strengths, putting some industrial design stuff in all of these pieces. So even though it's an environment piece, you can squeeze in some interesting looking cranes and stuff. So, that aspect of everything is looking great. I like the colors. The only thing I would say this could use a little bit more of is just a little bit of balance, because you might feel like the composition has a lot going on one side. Then it just all kind of fades back into being pretty substantial on the other side. And you can kind of get away with that, but it's nice to have little pinches of balance here and there. Great piece by Bailoma. Kusu, also on Team Gold, and I love this piece. Great framing device, great use of mood, great time of day, just so much atmosphere in this piece, such a good vibe. Really like it. I love what he did with all the actual little crater here and the little excavation stuff. So Kusu, definitely someone to watch out for. Then we have Overgang, who is our only returning cadet now without Yao Yi. And Overgang is on Team Gold as well. So Overgang, extremely good at shapes, especially chunky shapes. Overgang is just a master of chunkier shapes. These clouds look great. Great atmosphere as well. So one thing that Overgang excels at is just, selling atmosphere with, contrast. So everything in the distance just becomes so out of focus. Everything in the foreground becomes, well, I guess in this sense, also out of focus. And then you just have a very tight sense of where the focus is. And that's very strong for art. If you can control focus like that, that's always a great thing. The other thing that Overgang does well is just bounce light, just wonderful sense of volume and form. And a lot of that is just coming from the sense of light. It feels like light just bounces off of everything. It bounces off the walls, it bounces off the ground, it bounces off of just whatever. It bounces off the sky, and you just have so much ambient light, so much bounce light, and it's wonderful. So yeah, Overgang's just, already a killer of art. Then you had Gulapa also in the gold team, our alternate for the gold team, who wound up being on the team. And Gulapa had really strong line work, in my opinion, on the character design. I love their bird design. It was one of the best cadet designs. And I think this piece is a little bit of a struggle. For starters, the brush work, it's trying to be painterly instead of relying on line work. And I feel like it's a little bit chaotic and stuff. But the other main issue, in my opinion, is that they went all the way to black with these excavators back here. And that's just, it's too much darkness for that distance, Unless you're right up on the camera, you're never going to get anything that is this dark. So especially in the mid-ground, something that's, maybe like a couple 100 yards away, it's just way too dark. It just feels like it's out of place just because of how dark it is. So you really got to push those values back into atmosphere. And even that yellow feels just too extreme. There can also be a little bit more going on with the background stuff as well. But yeah, Gulapa definitely just settling in. They'll find their strengths. Rosa V from Team Pink. Definitely a great looking choice of colors and a lot of good shapes going on. I love this deer in the foreground here. The only issue I have here is that I feel like the background, the further back stuff, still feels a little bit too saturated, a little bit too bright. Because, color kind of dies off in vibrancy a little bit as you get that far away. The other thing is just the scale. It feels a little bit weird. These characters feel kind of giant compared to the scale of the deer here. Because I would assume we're looking down from a crater, so they'd be pretty far away, but judging from the size in comparison, it just feels a little awkward. So I'm mixed feelings about this aspect of the piece, but I do really like what I'm seeing in a lot of these other aspects. Greeblebot is another great member of Team Pink, and they had obviously strong industrial design stuff, but also really strong line work stuff. So good line control, and they played to that strength. So luckily that really helped out, because I feel like the painterly aspects of this piece are a little bit rough, The grays aren't necessarily the best choice. There's not a whole lot of, color variety going on between light and shadow. This part down here, it feels, devoid of any strong sense of atmosphere. And sometimes line work can have that effect where it's too consistent at all distances, so it kind of kills that feeling of depth. Still a lovely piece, really carried by that perspective in line work. Then we had Xing, who is from Team Blue. Xing Taki, one of our amazing Twitch streamer cadets. And go check them out on Twitch sometime. They have a great stream. But Xing Taki, Xing did this piece right here. Very strong read right off the bat. Just from the thumbnail, you can see that pop of the red against the blue, and that really helps a lot. It's very important to look at art pieces from both the small scale and the large scale. That's a good test of your composition and your values and your colors and everything. But anyway, that red is great. Some great shapes going on in there. There is a little bit of kind of repetition for some of the shapes I'm seeing outside of that, which is always a bit of an issue, especially if they feel like they're too evenly spaced in some of the gaps they're leaving behind, some of the negative space. Other issue I had was really in the foreground, because I feel like there's a foreground narrative element, just kind of like a little road or rail thing going on here. Got some characters, but the values of these just feel just off. You know, it doesn't quite read properly. They're dark inside the dark, and it just doesn't really, you know, feel like it matches. The colors on them are just feel too desaturated, and it just feels a little bit unfinished in this whole area in here, and you know, a little bit of that stuff. So the narrative stuff maybe fell off a little bit. Then we had Mega Rat on Team Hot Pink, and this piece, once again, I'm surprised at how well all the cadets did with environments, because you never know, they might just be character people, but really good use of color and just painterly sense of bounce light and ambient light and everything going on here. Even the sense of depth and, you know, atmospheric perspective, just really strong. So that was honestly a great piece. A couple minor issues might be the fact that this character is so close to the edge of our screen here. They even got a little bit of dialogue. They're drawing a lot of attention to something that is in the corner, and you generally don't want to do that because we're really stretching our focal points right to the edge. And that kind of leads you to just kind of let your eye drift right off the edge of the page. So, you know, the positioning of focal points could use a little work, but the execution is just beautiful. Then we have Wonky Pen from Team Gold, relying a little bit on line work, which is always a bit, you know, it's hit or miss when it comes to environments, because once again, line work can really kill your depth by just flattening everything out. But these cloud shapes are just lovely. And I realized that Wonky Pen has a really great sense of shapes. Just really nice, much like Overgang, really good sense of chunky shapes. I feel like this could have really benefited from being a little bit more painterly in this area, in this whole center focal area. Because it's a little bit flat. You know, the same purples are kind of going from one area to the next, and just the dark spots are the same between them. So there could have been a little bit more separation between this kind of drill thing and what's happening behind it, and stuff like that. There's just a little bit of room to improve that stuff. But nonetheless, you know, it's a pretty solid piece. And then we have Daco from Team Blue. And Daco very quickly set himself apart as one of just the best renderers. And there's a whole bunch of good renderers, so that's saying something. We have this little mouse narrative where we got the little McCheese, Mayor McCheese, Don McCheese, doing this little sculpture from this cheese excavation site. Really good piece. The colors are what really set it apart, because you get these very nice pops of saturation in a lot of these things. The only thing I would say that could be improved, maybe just a little bit of these shape designs, how this shape interacts with this shape is kind of a little bit too repetitive, but in general, just really strong stuff. And yeah, that was a great one. Daniela, another amazing cadet from Team Blue. You have this puzzle piece themed image here. You see all these little puzzle pieces. You see them in the hair right here. So all these little puzzle things going on, which was a nice concept. I think the general look of the painting of this and everything is quite good. It's quite a good separation, very clear sense of light, shadow. I feel like the only thing that could make it a little bit better is maybe just having some stronger feeling of like a secondary focal point that uses the canvas a little bit more. But mostly I feel like this main foreground character just feels a little bit on the stiff side, and they're just kind of the way they're kind of lined up with the side of the page. That could always be improved on just a little bit, but a really strong showing from Daniela there. And then we have Apple Chancery from, I believe, Team Blue as well. Yeah, another Team Blue. And this one, it had some good things going for it. It definitely has a sense of depth. We have some very distant stuff. It's very green, very kind of swampy. We even have this character as ogre orc. I don't know what it is exactly. I feel like the problem with this one is just a couple things. I feel like the separation, the amount of contrast on this character is just a little too strong. It feels like it's drawing a lot of just focal attention, going back and forth from really bright light to really almost black. And same thing for this part, where it just goes a little too dark back here. The other issue, which is a very subtle one, but also important, is that generally our focal point for a character is going to be right around where their head is. And you can see that would place the focal point right here. Now, unfortunately, you kind of want to stagger your focal points in an image. But the secondary focal point is kind of just right on that exact same line with the main one. So that's a little bit of a compositional, I don't know, something that could have been a little bit better for sure. Anyway, we have Fat Cat here, and I think I just got to play music for this one too. Because Fat Cat is the first pure pixel artist we've had as a cadet, and I wasn't really sure what they would do, honestly, because their cadet was a pixel art, and I was like, are they going to do pixel art each day? Well, yes. Yes, they are. They're going to do pixel art each day, and it's going to be fun and amazing, because they get these little tiny animations, and honestly, Fat Cat is just really good at having these very retro, nostalgic feeling environmental pieces. So absolutely love it. You know, a limited palette can sometimes just really make your art a lot better. So love the look of this. The only thing I would say is that the clouds are a little bit just, they could be a little bit more bold and interesting with their sizes and shapes. But yeah, just in general, lovely piece. And finally, our 18th cadet, Puro Pena. This one was a little bit rough, but it's their very first environment. So couple environmental mistakes might have been made. Like, there's not a strong enough sense of depth. You don't really have a strong sense of back and forth between like background and foreground. It's kind of just like a foreground stacked on top of an illustration. And the illustration itself relies heavily on just having a character here. So, you know, in terms of depth, it doesn't quite have the same depth as all the other ones. And I would say the brushwork is just ever so slightly a little too choppy. There's little like weird gaps of, you know, different strange color choices, like in this foreground stuff and in some of these little drone type object. I assume they are here. So those are a little bit weird, but, you know, for a first try, certainly quite nice. I won't always go over everyone's style in such depth or anything. I just want to get you guys all, you know, pretty familiar with the different artists we have this year. But for this first day, we had all 18 people in here, and I had to pick a winner and a loser. And my winner could have been Fat Cat, could have been a couple of these. Once again, Mega Rats was really strong. Overgangs was amazing. Kusu's amazing. Bailoma had some great parts. Even Yugi Chu and Algot, pretty strong. But I chose Dako. I just liked it. You know, it felt really nice, felt really pleasant to look at. Very pleasing color palette. So Dako won the first day. And for the strike, since no one dropped out on this first day, I did give a strike, and I gave the strike to Puro Pena. As I mentioned, just a little bit weaker than a lot of the other ones. And yeah, that's the first one in the book. So let's move on to assignment number 2. All right, the prompt for this assignment was bipedal bulldozer. So now we got to throw them into the deep end with some industrial design. So up first, we have Mega Rat from Team Hot Pink. And they had this nice little clever piece that can actually be flipped upside down. So it works both one way and it works upside down on its head. I guess if you're a fish, it doesn't really matter to you. But yeah, pretty good stuff here. Good theming. Maybe a little bit awkward on some of the balances and perspective, but I definitely within the realm of reason. I think it's pretty good. A couple weird choices on a little bits of the panel line stuff, but pretty solid. Then we move on to Vivo from Team Gold. And this one, once again, lovely execution. And at this point, I'm like, oh, okay, so these people are just good at everything. I didn't fool them with environments. I'm not fooling them with industrial stuff. Definitely some Spoodonkey, Gareth Davies vibes. But yeah, they look great. I really like what I'm seeing there. Pretty fun take from, I think, someone that doesn't normally do any industrial stuff. We also had Algot, this little mouse guy. So many mice this year. This is a pretty solid piece. A little bit of awkwardness in some of the just the viewpoint from this, the perspective, because you got a lot of lines that are kind of in shapes that are leading into other shapes. A little bit too much of that. So it kind of makes it feel a little bit awkward in its movement and everything, because it's just, everything feels like it's compacted into the silhouette a little bit too much. The panel lines could be a little bit more interesting. Then we had Palomar Chewbacca. No, this isn't his final entry. Never mind. We'll look at that later. We had Yugi Chew from Team Hot Pink. And this one, pretty strong. I like the little bull, kind of bull horns for the bulldozer. The little ramp is nice. Got the little logoing. Decent nuts. Yeah, a lot of good stuff going on in there. There's even a little tiny Cynics down here. A little Tynix. One mistake that I would say is kind of a big deal for industrial design is that it's viewing everything from just the front view. And that's really hard to sell a design from the front view. You gotta go for 3/4. The ins and outs of what this thing actually looks like are a little bit vague because it's from the front view. Then we got Rosa V, another one from Team Hot Pink. This thing has like a face on it. It just cracks me up. Going extra chunky with the legs, and I appreciate that. Looks pretty good, although a lot of the, these kind of shapes feel like they could use just a bit more functionality. And there's a lot of just kind of cylinders going on, but not a whole lot of like feeling of mobility. I think the core part maybe gets a little bit bland as well. But pretty good. I like the presentation of it. It's pretty nice. Gulapa, once again, going very, very desaturated with the color palette. And I would say Gulapa's biggest weakness at this point is still just the painting technique. So it's still extremely kind of choppy with the brushwork. It's just a lot of little strokes. They kind of get a little bit too messy, kind of leads to it looking a little bit muddy, a little bit soupy in some of the forms. So there's definitely room to improve at that. The design itself has some good potential. I do feel like it's a little bit uneven, asymmetrical in some of these arms and just the pose of them. There's little rooms for improvement here and there. We have Greeblebot, though, who is, once again, someone that's pretty good at industrial design. And it shows, because this has some lovely joints going on, some lovely different, very functional looking parts. And I love these little action shots on the right here with the back view and also the view of him kind of pushing stuff. It looks like he's just at the beach building a sandcastle, but it's great. The presentation's lovely. Just a very strong piece. There might be just a little bit of out of perspective stuff happening with this leg, maybe just a hint. It feels a little bit off compared to this one. But yeah, it's just a great entry. So really, really strong industrial stuff this year. Kusu had this little skinny bot, this little character up here. Let's actually open these up. Keep forgetting I can just zoom in a little bit. Looks great, honestly. Then we had Overgang. Once again, Overgang's just extremely solid at art in general. So lovely balanced light, lovely use of colors, values. Some of the little greebling, the little interior stuff gets a little bit too evenly chaotic. You kind of want to pocket things into kind of more tighter, condensed structural areas, but everything just kind of feels a little bit vague throughout all of this. Which is too bad, because there's a lot of really good stuff when you come to like the yellow pieces. A little bit too consistent, It's not so much big, medium, small as it is kind of medium, 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 medium. So that's kind of a bit of an issue as well. Then we got Biloma, who is, once again, an industrial design specialist. So that kind of gives them quite an advantage. And when you zoom in here, This is the type of stuff that you live for as an industrial person. You just love this. Look at this hand over here. So much little stuff going on, little linkages, little functionality things. So really strong piece there. And even in these feet, man, there's some great stuff going on in here. I'm a big fan of that. Daniela, never made a mech before. Another person's first attempt at something. I think, once again, one issue is certainly just the front view. It's really hard to sell a mech in the front view. The other issue is just some of these shapes. They feel almost like jigsaw pieces where they're just so kind of wildly cut up without any real strong sense of purpose for those cut ups. So it gets a little too busy with that. Apple Chancery. I love this little stuff going on. A very unique design for a little bulldozer, but seems to work. Seems to have some functionality to it. It does get a little bit needlessly complex and kind of weird in some of these joints, but I appreciate the 3/4 view. I appreciate the orthographic as well, just to add to the detail of it all. It's pretty good. Then we have Fat Cat. Once again, Fat Cat, pixel artist. I wasn't sure. Industrial design, pixel art, but no, we got it. We got this little bipedal bulldozer that puts his arms together and goes into bulldozer mode. So yeah, solid, great stuff. Palomar Chewbacca from our team Blue. I don't know why I can't remember. They came at it with some interesting stuff, but I wouldn't say it necessarily reads as a bipedal bulldozer. The bulldozer part doesn't read as well as it could. It just gets a little bit weird in the silhouette as well. Wonky Pin, though, from Team Gold, definitely has a good one here. We can zoom in on this a little bit because there's a lot of little details. Just great stuff. Once again, really great industrial kind of indications happening. These little core parts. Kind of feels like it could be a Mega Man boss or something. But it's wonderful, honestly. Definitely does the part. I like the little bowl part theming. Great job. We had Shing here. I wasn't sure if Shing did any industrial design, but here we are. This is actually quite strong. Very strong perspective. Very strong shapes. And I was honestly extremely surprised at how good this was. I don't know. I guess I've only seen Shing do a lot of anime character art in the past, so I wasn't sure what to expect. But yeah, I love it. I think it's a very strong piece. Once again, looks like it could just be a Mega Man, like a level kind of enemy or something. A lot of good joint stuff, a lot of good parts. Just love the feet, love the general just feel of it. And then Puro Pena, also not bad. Simple chunky shapes. I think the whole cockpit, the whole core area feels like it could be a little bit more interesting. You have like a lot of these arm parts, but they all kind of wind up being the same kind of just cylindrical, straightforward, no real silhouette changes happening. Algot, this one just felt like it had some ideas, but never really figured out, the core of what it was going for. So I'm not really sure how this thing would actually function as a bulldozer. But nonetheless, it's got a lot of good, solid qualities. And lastly, we had Daco, the winner from Assignment 1, Cheesebreaker, used in the construction of Ratanapa. And this one's great, just another solid piece. I definitely didn't expect this many people to be this good at industrial design. So you got the little cheese wedge and just a good little mech here. Honestly, looking at these, this is definitely the strongest industrial design crop we've ever had for the mech design part of Chroma Core. And the follow-alongs were equally impressive. I would like to say, by the way, I'm sorry, we're not going to be looking at the follow-alongs during the assignment parts of this recap. There's just too many good ones. I can tell you that for every day we had an assignment, we had I think we averaged between 200 and 300 follow-alongs. So I just don't have a way to show you how great it all is. But I strongly recommend, if you have any time, go in here, go into the server and go into the assignment follow-alongs and just browse through all the amazing art in there. Definitely really happy with them. And I looked at all of them on streams, so it's not like I'm ignoring them completely. We looked at them all together on the Twitch streams and everything, and it was a lot of fun. But anyway, back to this assignment. The winner, I decided to go with Bioloma. You know why, just because, you know, when I saw all those little details, you know, it just got my industrial design heart aflutter, and I couldn't resist. Unfortunately, the strike today went to Daniela. It was their first mech ever, which is weird because the first day I gave someone a strike for their first environment. Second day I gave someone a strike for their first mech ever. People are not going to want to try new things if they stick around me. Hopefully Daniela does some more industrial stuff in the future. Hopefully this wasn't something I just scared them off from by giving them a strike. But yeah, let's go on to the next assignment. All right, so assignment number 3. We're trying to do a little creature design for a highly unsettling yet strangely unintimidating doppelganger. Once again, this is just fitting into cleaning up last year's mess. We had a big interdimensional rift with all kinds of interdimensional versions of cadets coming through, and I thought we got rid of most of them, but it looks like some of them have still been creepily hanging out under the old ruins of the previous academy. So we're stumbling into some of these little creatures here. So I let them pick any cadet from past or present and just do a creepy little doppelganger of them. So Megarat chose Daniela's cadet, Ham, which was, by the way, I think one of the most popular cadets this year. And also the most ominous cadet because they named their cadet Ham, and well, let's just say Daniela had an encounter with Ham later on in the contest that didn't go too well for them, but we'll get to that later. It's adorable. They broke out of their like a little octopus creature thing, just a little head of their cadet. So Yugi Chu did their own cadet, just a creepy little guy from another dimension. Not bad. I do like I think that's a little Tynix here in the foreground. We had a lot of weird fun stuff. Kusu, this is by Loma. I'm getting distracted because some of them are actually replicating each other's styles so well. But Bioloma did Kusu's doppelganger, and really managed to capture Kusu's style really well, which is nice. Now, it's not the most unintimidating of the doppelgangers. This feels like a fully formed, pretty intimidating doppelganger, but nonetheless, a great piece of art there. Gulapa did Fat Cat's cadet, a very mouse-like version. But anyway, it's not a bad piece there. Rosa did their own cadet Sesame, and wow, Rosa really bringing forth with the shape design, the rendering, the painting. Just a very strong piece. Love the confidence of the rim light and everything. We also had Greebobot decided to do a couple cadets from last year. Beatrice, the winner from last year, as well as Div, one of the favorites from last year, as well as their own cadet. So these are just adorable. I don't even know what to say. They're just like weird little Muppets. I love them. This is just lovely. Algot did a little goblin version of their cadet. Little goblin Twitch streamer version of their cadet. It's just great. I'm really loving everything that the cadets are doing this year, to be honest. Kusu did Humei's cadet. Humei from last year once again. A little strange going for just like a crazy old man. This will be me in a few years. Shing decided to also do Daniela's cadet Ham. And I love the lighting on this. It definitely captures the unintimidating yet unsettling vibe, which we're going for. Daniela decided to, meanwhile, do Wonky Pin's cadet. But that's a pretty good piece. I do like some of the light stuff happening at the top. But I think the main thing that could have made it a little bit better is just the pose of the arm. Because the arm just feels so flat against the silhouette. Goes straight into the leg here. What else we got? Vwolf did Algot's cadet. Looking great, looking weird, looking like definitely an abomination. Overgang decided to do their cadet from last year. And once again, Overgang's just the master of atmosphere, the master of depth and focus, and honestly, bounce light and everything. So that looks great. Overgang, I can imagine him being a lot of people's favorites. Fat Cat has their little pixel art of Sabi's character from this year. Sabi's cadet this year was like a little happy face on top of a dress, so you can see that there. Also an extra one of Storce's character. We got Palomar, who did a Cadets of Bilomas here. It's good stuff going on there. Is it picking its nose with its tongue? We had Apple Chancery doing Yaoyus. Pretty great. It has all these little stacked heads inside the body, which is just kind of creepy. I do feel like the read on the silhouette could have been a little bit clearer because it kind of feels a little bit lost when you see it quickly, when you glance by. Wonky Pen didn't have time, so they only did a quick sketch today. But it had good potential. Once again, the sketch has some great energy. Daco did a full-on comic this day. They were really carrying through, trying to keep the same theming in all of the pieces with these mice, Ratnaba. I'm sorry, they're rats. It's called Ratnaba, right? I don't know. I'm sorry. But it brought in their cadets. It's a great piece all around. Pro Pena brought back their own character. So all good stuff. I think the win for today went to Xing's cadet, or Xing's piece, I should say. Could have been Overgang. Could have been Greeblebot, Rosa, Algot. Could have been any of those. I went with Xing's just because I just love the atmosphere of it, and just pretty much captured the right mentality of everything. The strike today went to Wonky Pen. Sadly, it's mostly just because they didn't have time to do anything too crazy and fun. Sorry, Wonky Pen. That was their first strike. Let's move on. All right, now this one's a bit of a chaotic one because we have an illustration prompt of teamwork, but the big catch for this one is that the whole team will get a strike. So everyone's being judged as a collective team, and the strongest team wins, and the losing team all gets strikes. So we're gonna be giving out 6 strikes today, which is a lot. It's a lot of strikes. Let's try to remember who's on which team as I go forward with this. So first up, on Team Hot Pink, we had Algot with this volleyball piece. Some of the brushwork is still a bit on the choppy side. The perspective's a little weird because I feel like if this character was to stand up, they would be like twice as tall as the volleyball net. So little bit of weirdness there, but still a pretty good piece. Rosa, also on Team Hot Pink, made this little cheer squad here, which is a little bit hard to read, sadly, value-wise. So let's just see if we can see it a little bit better in here, because we got this nice little cheerleader thing with great shapes, honestly, and a great, technique. And you got all the little cadets trying to help out. You got the little I forget what their names are, but the little cadet riding the turtle. It's a very good piece. Unfortunately, it's a little hard to read, when you quickly glance at it, but the technique is great. We also got Xing from Team Blue coming in with their piece, which is extremely good. You got so much energy. You got Fat Cat, Daco, Apple Chancery, Daniela, Palomar Chupacabra, and Xing. All 6 cadets represented. You got the cute little stuff happening up here. That's me. I recognize that nose, and hold on, and that little sprout. Not very observant. Definitely a great entry for Team Blue. But once again, this is a team competition, so we'll see what we get. We also have another one, Team Pink, coming in. It looks like a lot of Team Pink came in together. Once again, still going for the sports thing. So we got some action poses, some running. I feel like the face could have been a little bit better on this one, or just a pose, but this piece definitely has some nice energy to it. Very good with the industrial little greebling and stuff. So once again, love that. Yugi Chu, the rest of Team Hot Pink coming in. Little soccer goal thing going on here. Nice little illustration, honestly. Palomar, Team Blue. So while Team Pink went for mostly like sports and cheerleading, Team Blue did a lot of just, I don't know if they were synced up in any way, but just a lot of cool, team up pieces, illustrations using multiple cadets. You get some Apple Chancery, some Xing, some Palomar in here doing a little action pose. And it looks great. I like how he used the light. He used the light really well. So that's nice. And then we had a little run by Team Gold. Now, Team Gold decided to sync up and all do this road trip theme. So they all have this little bus, little Volkswagen bus, and they're going on a little road trip adventure together. You got all of their little cadets, actually throwing in some other cadets. How dare you, Wonky? Oh, I see. They caught the blue team's biggest rat lacking. So they captured Daniela's cadet up here. I wish some of the readability was a little better in some of the dark areas, but I think it's fine. I think it works well enough. Bailoma continuing the adventure. They're off here. Looks like Bailoma's cadet here crashed their mech, so they got to get picked up by the team. Beach episode. Oh, this is just adorable. So you got Gulapa, V-Wolf, and Bailoma here. Just love this piece. Very minimalistic, but lovely colors, lovely scene. Great, just great design. Very pleasant looking. And Overgang's the one who went extra mech-like with the turning the bus into a little mech here. Great stuff happening there as well. There's Kusu's cadet, and there's Gulapa, and then you got a little bit of all the rest here. Love it. I love the cohesiveness of it all. And Kusu did this lovely little, looks like a book cover illustration, or a poster. Road trip, 6 friends go on an adventure. And once again, this is just so wholesome. Look at the little cadets there, just all hanging out, changing a tire on their bus. So love that. Now, going back, jumping around, we got some Team Blue coming in. And so Daniela doing a little bit of gardening for Team Blue. Not quite sure how much teamwork this represents on its own. It's a little bit vague. I think we have another cadet back there. But it's a nice looking piece. I like the general compositional vibes going on. I think it's got the idea. I just can't read it. And once again, Gulapa rounding out Team Gold with their little road trip adventure. I do think Gulapa has some fun line shape ideas. The rendering's still a little bit rough. But overall, man, that's a great presentation by Team Gold. In Team Blue, let's see what we got. So it's still just random action shot team ups. We got the little action poses. It looks like Fat Cat's defending against Shing and Apple Chancery's cadet. And Fat Cat made another beautiful pixel illustration. It's got music. So let's just throw this up here. Sadly, it doesn't quite fit on my screen. But you got the little turn-based RPG stuff happening here. We have a little flying Dako. A little tiny Dako. It's very uncertain how big Dako's cadet actually is. So that's adorable. Once again, Blue Team had some of the best individual pieces, for sure. Apple Chancery, also a really good piece here with the Blue Team working out together. Love the little Dako over here. Love the way they incorporated all the cadets. Per opinion, going back to Pink Team and their teamwork sports. That's pretty fun. Mega Rat also had a little bit of football action. So they all picked different sports stuff. Now that's all of them. Going back through them, I really like a lot of Blue Team's individual pieces. But Gold Team, just for cohesiveness, for how they work together, and they kind of had that through line narrative. I gave the win to Team Gold on this one. Blue was also right up there, though, with some of my favorite pieces. Now, unfortunately, that means Team Hot Pink was the loser of this challenge. It's not like they did anything terribly. They got some good pieces. Unfortunately, everyone on Team Hot Pink got a strike. It was a good challenge this day, though. So let's move on, though. I thought I would give them something more carefree after that more intense day of team competition. So assignment number 5 is actually just an abstract art assignment. I listed the prompt as liminal ego refraction, and it's basically just a chance to do some cool abstract art. So we have Mega Rat coming in with some kind of glitchy looking, deep fried looking art there. Overgang going a little monochromatic, a little bit simple. But having some nice spirally kind of interesting vibes. Definitely has some depth in there. Palomar going all kinds of weird. I think he did a piece and then chopped it up into little tinier chunks. So, everyone's got to experiment and find their own sense of abstract stuff. But I think it was kind of fun. Yugi Chu going for this weird take on things. It's no use describing anything. They're just abstract pieces. So I'm mainly looking for, how people control focus and do things like that. Greeblebot, a little bit strange. Not quite sure what some of these... It feels almost like it's on the border of being representational. Rosa, a little bit strange as well, because I feel like it's just pushing around some of the brushes, but not necessarily forming any deeper sense of depth with them. Then we had Biloma, who has some interesting little techniques going on. A little bit, once again, a little bit hard to pick out a clear sense of focus, but I do like the colors going on. Algot has this one, which you might want to see a doctor about that one. And then we had Kusu, who did this thing that absolutely feels like an album cover. Now, I'll be honest, it is bordering the line of pop art versus abstract art, because it does feel like it plays off cultural representational things. The little abstract, kind of energetic, frantic-looking character almost that you feel in here. But nonetheless, it does have enough abstract elements that I'm okay with calling it abstract, because it does a lot to at least vary the entries in a very unique way. Dako has this pretty delightful piece. I like the orb thrown in here for graphic contrast. Xing, also some great just abstractions, some nice spirally looping shapes. It's a little bit on the flat side, but I think it would work really well on a wall probably. Definitely has some good aesthetics to it. And then we have Apple Chancery, a little bit too much for my tastes. It feels a little too deep fried, a little bit too chaotic. Everyone's got their own taste for abstract stuff. Pearl Pena, I do like what they were going for, but it needs a little bit to latch on to. It needs a little bit of hard edge, a little bit of focus, because right now it just feels like everything's, once again, just a little bit too out of focus. Similar issue I had with Roses, where it feels like it didn't necessarily drive my attention anywhere specific. Vivov had this piece, which once again feels like it would make a lovely pattern on a shirt you would find at a very weird men's store. Maybe like a tie, like a very tacky tie. But yeah, I'm sure it's very expensive with all that patterning going on. And then we had Fat Cat. I wasn't sure what they would do for abstract art, but they kind of went for this fun little swirling and swirling little effect. And honestly, it's pretty enjoyable to just look at. It's kind of relaxing. You can kind of just sit here and just kind of vibe out, just watching it, spin around. Daniela had this one, which it's a lot of interesting stuff happening. It's a little bit chaotic, but pretty good. Gulapas, I don't know. I didn't feel like this was quite as experimental or interesting as some of the others. It kind of just has 3 relatively similar sized shapes just repeating next to each other, but there's still room to kind of tighten them up or just do something a little bit more with them. And Wonky Pen had these great cloud shapes. Once again, Wonky Pen's really good at these kind of organic shapes looping around. So overall, could have gone a lot of different ways with the winner. I decided to go with Kusu. Maybe that's controversial because once again, it is a little bit on the side of pop art. But I just want to encourage people to be a little bit more experimental with everything. So I think that does a good job getting people out of a comfort zone. Gulapas I picked as the strike for today. It's always a little bit hard to pick an abstract strike, but it just didn't feel like this one went far enough to get experimental. So yeah, that's just how the cookie crumbles. And let's move on. Now it's time for the most controversial assignment of the entirety of Chroma Core. And why is that? Well, it seems pretty simple. The prompt is just Synix's super secret special steal, which sounds innocent enough, but I tried a very experimental approach this time, which was to give a strike to both the winner and the loser. So that's right, 2 strikes going out, and one of them is going to the best. which means there's a little bit of gamesmanship in how do you make a piece that's not too good or too bad. It was just an experiment, but I already regret it. Now it's fine. It was worth doing. But anyway, we have all these interesting food assignment coming in. We have Vivo with this one, which honestly just looks pretty good. I like the bowl. I like the rendering technique. It's a little bit too good, which has made me nervous because I'm like, oh, I already regret doing the best person getting a strike. Because yeah, it's a good piece by Vivo. Meanwhile, we got Biloma over here. This is a pretty good looking little curry stew going on. Got the Chroma Core cup. Yeah, it feels like it's got a lot of good qualities, but you know, doesn't necessarily try to do anything too extreme stylistically. Yugi Chu's also looking quite good, to be honest. So a lot of people, despite this prompt, despite the potential for getting a strike, for being number one, a lot of people are going pretty good with their assignments. Gulapa has this bowl that's just kind of spilling out, though. Definitely feels a bit weaker than the rest in terms of concept. Could be something more interesting. Algot has this little bit of gross squid octopus stuff, eyeballs, a fly. I don't know why they all think if I made a stew that it would be disgusting, but that's fine. A lot of little sprouts and things. Kusu made my Cynics' super special secret stew, which is definitely not a Campbell's soup. I mean, they chopped off my sprout and they threw it in the beans. But I guess now's the day to do a gross thing, because I guess they assume that gross will keep them from winning. I don't know. Maybe there's some truth to that, actually. Vitamin D soup for the Art Cadets by Mega Rat. That's just Sunny D. You just put Sunny D inside your soup. Rosa V, once again, a pretty good mix of like good technique, good presentation, but not quite too good where it might be the best. Although it is quite nice, to be honest. So there was that one. Greeblebot, going back to the line work. Really loving, actually, a lot of the features going on here. A lot of MSG, you love to see it, all that good stuff. Overgang, trying to predict what I'm going to say. It's fine, 3 out of 5. And honestly, yeah, Overgang, you did a pretty good job at making something that's fine. It's fine, 3 out of 5. It's got potential to go further, but you didn't take it further. You just kind of left it where it is. Very flat, but well executed. Good job, Overgang. He understood the assignment. And meanwhile, over on Team Blue, with a lot of these other people, with the Apple Chanceries, with the Daniellas, with the Shings, with the Fat Cats, with the Palomar and Daco, they all seem to decide that it would be so funny to just have the stew be just me inside a bathtub somehow. Some weird mix of me, myself in a bathtub. So get ready for that, because it's very unpleasant. So here's me in a bathtub with little ducks gathering up the secret stew. Here's me in a bathtub from Daniela, 480p. Good, great, love it. That's a good way to make sure you're not the winner. And then we had Xing over here with some awkward tangents being made just to annoy me. A lot of awkward tangents, honestly. Just awkward tangents casually spread around. And no one wants to eat that. Then we had Fat Cat with it's me and a stew again. I'm selling my bathwater here. That's what's going on. I'm a successful influencer. I can sell my bathwater. Palomar, do I really have to do this to win the contest? I don't like the implications going on here. This is not endorsed. And Daco that's the most flattering caricature of me I've ever seen. Okay, great, delightful. What a great art piece. Thank you, Team Blue, for making it awkward. But let's go back to Team Gold. We got some. I don't even know what to make of this. You know what? Who cares? I'm not going to make sense of it. It's great. I'm a pot person, apparently. I'm a little pothead. Is that the joke? Pro Pena got this one over here. which also the flies, the fish bones, the grossness, it's doing a good job of making good art that I don't feel great about. Please forgive me. Unfortunately, the win went to Vvolf for that first piece. And unfortunately, that means I gave them a strike. I'm sorry, I just really liked the look of the presentation of this. I just like the bowl. I like the little graphic design stuff. It was just really nice to look at. So I'm sorry, Vvolf. Forgive me, you won and got a strike. The loser for today was Gulapa. Personally, it just felt a little uninteresting. It just didn't really have anything exciting going on. So, yeah, I don't know. I regret everything about this assignment, but that's it. At this point in the competition, we'll be moving forward from my little lore prompts into all of my guest prompts. So let's move on to guest prompts. All right, I'm going to speed things up just a bit because we do have a lot to get through. So now that you're kind of familiar with the different artists and cadets that are going on, I probably won't spend as much time going over each single piece. We'll still look at them all though. So anyway, we're moving on to the guest prompts now. The first one comes to us from Anthony Jones, aka Robot Pencil. Just a wonderful artist, great educational resource, does a wonderful YouTube videos and mentoring and stuff like that. The prompt they gave was vampire that lives at the bottom of the ocean. Anyway, let's look at the art. So first up, we got Algot with this very elongated squid-like merman here. I guess doesn't really sell the vampire thing too much. That's okay. Biloma did this character, which I think really sells the vampire aspect. He looks like he's at the bottom of the ocean. He's got these jellyfish wings. The way the blood comes up is really nice. A lot of good detailing. I do think the background is maybe just a little too harshly black, but you know, that's fine. Yugichu, meanwhile, similar dark background, but works so much better because of that little bit of gradation into some color. Just a little bit of red there. The way it kind of feels like it's glowing in the water. I do think the character silhouettes are a little bit confusing. It's a little bit hard to read, but I do love the confidence and some of the shape design going on here. So that aspect is great. We had Rosa, who did this little adorable Nosferatu looking little guy. I don't know, he's almost wholesome. He doesn't feel that threatening, but definitely captures that undersea vampire feeling. So good one there. Palomar, maybe a bit weaker than some of the other ones in terms of character design. It just feels a little bit too safe and not as experimental. I do like that he's walking his little angler fish and it's taking a little poop. But yeah, a little rough on that one. Gulapa went for this this lovely little hammerhead shark vibe. So that's always good. I think the cape could have been a bit better, but conceptually I really like what he's going for. A little confused by like the belt buckle jean. These feel like jeans. I don't know. Maybe it's the shirt. Feels like a dad. Big dad vibes coming off that one. Mega Rat had this more action shot, just eating up a shark here, which is pretty good. Once again, I like the simple gradation for the background and the little specks of light and everything and bubbles. That's really good. That works well to sell it as underwater. I feel like this guy's silhouette gets a little bit confusing because it's just so thin coming from the shoulders down into the torso and tail. And this arm also, the curve, I don't know. Feel a little bit strange, but I do like the execution of what they had. We had Apple Chancery, feeling like a straight up Kentaro Miura Berserk page right here. This is like underwater berserk creature, but I like it. I like it. It's very cool, very distinct feeling. The desaturation, the gray scale of it, I always have a little bit of mixed feelings, but pretty good. Vvolf did these little mermen here, and those honestly look great. Vvolf, very strong skills for just drawing line art of characters, good organic line energy and everything like that. Greeblebot had this guy. The expression is just, this is something else. Okay, it's weird enough, I guess. Daniela went for this one, which also feels very strange, almost like abstract art, very surrealist. But it does capture that little bit of the way blood kind of feels like smoke in water. So I do like that a lot. The character itself could be a little bit more developed. Now we have Shing's here. The tail seems just too short or something. I don't know. His whole body feels too evenly divided into top and bottom mass-wise. I feel like there's room to sell a little stronger shape hierarchy. And I'm not in love with the shapes going on in the head area as well. And the pose it's not the strongest from Shing. But anyway, we got Fat Cat here. This is just lovely, great animation, you know. There's always room for a little bit more shape design and maybe the pose. But I don't think it matters because the execution and the effect is so nice. So can't sweat that one. Dako, meanwhile, just decided to go all out with rendering. This is just a great technique going on here. The specularity just really captures that underwater kind of feel of a creature. With all these, you know, tentacles and everything. Honestly, all of it feels really nice color-wise, value-wise, rendering-wise. Just an amazing render. Of course, Overgang, the king of chunky shapes. It's not Overgang's strongest because I feel like it could use a little bit more of his, you know, trademark atmosphere and, you know, rendered bounce light. It's definitely hinted at, but it doesn't go quite as painterly as some of his other ones. Meanwhile, we got Kusu. And Kusu went also kind of almost abstract, feels like just a very translucent jellyfish. The water effect, once again, just a little glow is enough. That little bit of glow is enough to sell that underwater feeling. And then we have Peropenia, which I don't know if this is a cultural thing. I don't know what this is based on, but it's very weird and interesting. So I don't dislike it. I kind of think it's kind of a cool design. I wish some of these shapes of these limbs were handled just a little bit, you know, differently, but that's fine. Wonky Pen, going for this one, got a little scuba diver down here, but I like these wings, these creepy tentacle octopus eyeball wings. Very interesting. Maybe the way it interacts with this character here could have been a little different, but it's pretty strong, interesting piece. So overall, I had to give the win to Dako just for that presentation. It's just such a nice use of value and light and color and everything. The strike today went to Palomar, which is, of course, that one near the start. But once again, everyone's doing a great job. So let's move on. Assignment number 8 comes to us from Laura Price, who is, of course, a YouTuber, viz dev artist, did work at Disney, now works at Sony. You might know them from YouTube or maybe Instagram, but they gave us a wonderful environment prompt, which is Ethereal Subway Station. So up first, Alcott coming in early both times. This is a little callback to last year's Jimmy the Friendliest Ghost. Got little Jimmy here. And he's hanging out in this little abandoned subway station. Now, the subway station itself isn't too radically ghostly or ethereal, but, you know, a little bit of that Jimmy in there certainly helps. Then we have Gulapa. I think definitely Gulapa's strengths definitely come through where it's not necessarily all about the rendering of forms, but more just about ideas and shapes. And anytime you can use more like shape-based lines, to really define stuff, that feels pretty nice. So that's a pretty good one there. We also had Rosa V, very ethereal feeling. This little elsewhere. I like this kind of out of focus, bubbly effect that's kind of seeping its way through everything. Really nice piece there. Biloma went with the train station route, little wizards hanging out. Great train station though. Love the details on the train. Makes you want to suplex a train. Kusu, what are we going for here, Kusu? Kusu just kind of went wild with like this little train station inside a box. But then there's also just a bunch of different ones in here. It's like little vignettes, little ideas. You got very creative all of a sudden, just going wild. Now the train station's in a hat. Before it was in this person's mouth, coming out after they smoked. Now it's just on someone's art. Definitely an interesting approach. And I respect that. But then we had Daniela, a nice feeling, very positive, warm yellowy colors. Does leave some room for, a little bit more depth in things. But, I guess you can make a case for it because it is ethereal feeling. Overgang, you're drunk at the subway. Not the most ethereal, but I guess being drunk on the subway is kind of an ethereal experience as well. Definitely feels like it could be an album cover or something. Then we got Shing, who's bringing it into the land of anime characters and lovely backgrounds. And Shing really pulled through on this one. Got the character, the distance is done well. Just the overall look of everything has a really nice palette. I think it's great. Could be a little bit more ethereal. But we do have little ghosties creeping in the shadows. Vivov went for an exterior just kind of shot of things. Now, the issue is that it's not necessarily feeling like an ethereal subway station, but, we'll see. Greeblebot, I think this is pretty reasonable. It could have just been a regular subway with a very wild color palette thrown on, but I think it sells it. Could use a little bit more glowiness, though, in my opinion. A little bit more glow from all these lights. Mega Rat with a giant cat here, walking over this little subway station in the cat clouds. And I think that's a little tiny Cynics down there. I just noticed that. Yeah, it's their cadet, too. Okay. Now that's Mega Rat's cadet and a little tiny Cynics. Then we got Fat Cat, who... I'll be honest, I feel like Fat Cat really just nailed it on a lot of these environment pieces. And this one is just beautiful, I would love to see this in a video game. Really good. Finally, we got Apple Chancery going for a zoo vibe, a bunch of things. I know I said I would be a lot faster. I don't think I've sped up at all. I think I've actually slowed down. Yugi-Chu had this one a little rough on some of the values going on there. And the design, not my favorite. Wonky Pen, this is, pretty interesting graphic interpretation, but I think it's pretty good. Sells it with the color palette. And Dako. Oh, once again, Dako just had to just go nuts with this one. Just the presentation, the rendering, the lighting, the colors. This is kind of a wild piece. We got the little ghost of the mouse here, or rat. Rat, mouse, I don't know. What's the difference? No, someone's going to get upset. Okay, don't answer that. I know the difference. Just don't answer it. Just don't worry about it. I'm just joking around. Appreciate the rendering that's going on in here. It's a whole dragon train. Oh, is that a tiny Cynics ghost? I didn't even notice that. Now I like it even more. And then we had Pro Pena graffiti coming to life when no one's around, which is a fun concept. I think that was a clever idea there. Well, I guess there's one little side thing to share. Palomar, sadly, has called it quits on this day. It is day 8, and Palomar did a great job. Honestly, I was really enjoying all of their work. Obviously, the day before was their weaker day, but overall, really impressed with Palomar's stuff. The winner, it could have gone a lot of different ways, honestly. Could have been Dako again. Could have been a lot of these. Could have been Shing. Could have been, I like a lot of these, actually. But I decided to give it to Fat Cat. I was feeling the pixel art. Sadly, the strike this time went to Yugi-Chu. Felt like this one just didn't quite do enough. I'm not in love with the composition. Not in love with some of the shapes going on. They're a little bit too just boxy and everything, but it's fine. Overall, just a great round. Sad to see Palomar go, but let's keep moving. Assignment number 9 was a weapon prop assignment, and it comes to us from my good pal Jetty Jet of the Jetty Jet Show, who you might know from YouTube. He's been on my channel plenty of times, been on Cypress channel from back in the day, doing a lot of conventions, so if you ever see him at a convention, be sure to buy something. But yeah, Jetty Jet, he gave us the prompt of a main weapon for a musical time-traveling demon hunter. Glossed over the time-traveling part because I don't think that's the most important. It's more about the musical demon hunter weapon. So first up, again, we got Algot here. Very sharp-looking violin. It's not bad. Maybe a little bit strange of a weapon. Presentation could be a little bit more interesting in its graphic appeal, but it's fine. Then we got Vivov with the, I know it's a thing. I know it's a musical instrument. My brain's not going to be able to remember everything at all times, but it's kind of interesting. I'm not sure how well it could fight demons, but it looks like it has a little laser targeting on some demon. Then we had Gulapa with straight up scythe harp, and not a bad idea at all. Might be a little bit tricky to wield, but I could definitely see that being a functional weapon. Bioloma, bring in the heat with a giant machine gun of guitaritude. A little bit weird in its placement on the handles and stuff like that. There's definitely better ways to pull off the body of it. But man, the whole fretboard and the front of the little top part, those look great. Good stuff going on there. Yugi-Chu went for this one, very axy guitar. And yeah, I think that one's actually pretty good looking. Yugi-Chu does do a lot of really good stuff with some of these shapes. And once again, the colors are just wild. And we have Rosa, the tuning fork of time, leaning into the time stuff a little bit, but still, it's a tuning fork. It's a musical instrument. They use it to create all kinds of sound-based attacks. Kusu went a little bit all over, and a little bit of a shotgun approach. Bunch of different little weapons, sword weapons here. They look pretty good though. I'm not gonna lie, they're pretty nice. Daniela went with the Obopoon. The Obopoon, which is of course an oboe harpoon. Why not? This is the worst handle I've ever seen, but everything else is very creative. Overgang had this absolutely banger of a sword going on here. Kind of looks like a mixture of a bunch of different brass instruments, but all combining quite nicely into this sword. Really love that, honestly. Just a great piece. Greeblebot went for a gun as well, but those are pretty fun. Definitely enjoyed those. Megarat with the guillotine, not the most convenient weapon, but nonetheless, it's definitely interesting. Then we had Apple Chancery with this crazy tubamophone, and that feels pretty nice as well. Shing went for a pipe organ, a Gatling gun, Vulcan pipe organ. It's pretty fun. It's pretty interesting take on things, so I do like it. I think it's pretty cool. Wonky Pen went with the accordion mage, and I have to say, the little demonstration of how it would work, just great, honestly, really good. So that one was wild. Fat Cat, not to be outdone with the electric keyboard sword. And the little effects when it hits are just so nice. The music effect, oh, that's great. So once again, Fat Cat just being at the top every single time. Puro Pena went for the saxophone axe, I guess that would be, and that's pretty great. Lastly, we got Daco, sad trombone noises. What a great rendering on this little, once again, I mean, that's the same technique he used for those tentacles, but it's just a really nice technique for showing off all this slimy, organic nonsense happening back here. This part gets a little bit too complex, but the concept was there. It just needs some editing. Anyway, the winner today was actually Wonky Pen for this, just, this wonderful accordion mace. I gave the strike today to Vivov. I don't know. It's just a little bit weird. It doesn't feel like it would be a proper weapon for some like demon hunter. So let's just move on. Assignment number 10 comes to us from Radical Face, my friend musician, who is also a talented artist. But he gave us an illustration prompt that is Zero Gravity Tea Party. Sounds like a fun illustrative idea. We had Fat Cat came in like right at the start with this little Amogus guy, but I think he did a different one later. Anyway, so we got Gulapa. Doing this little one, it got it feels explosive. I'm not sure if that counts as zero. I guess it's taking away gravity. a little bit light on some of the anatomy and stuff, some of the posing. But then we had Rosa. It's got this one, little floating away characters. Now, my only issue with this is just that everything feels so perfectly spaced. There's not much overlap. There's kind of like a lot of equal negative space between things. Anyway, we got Algot here. Not Algot's strongest. I feel like the posing, the character silhouettes, just the character art, honestly, is not quite as good as I'm used to seeing from Algot. We do have Yugichu here, who's bringing back the cadets. The background's a little bit, not the most exciting, but I do love the character poses. And then we had Kusu. There are things even astronauts cannot do, but you can. Drink zero gravity. So going for the viral marketing here, Zero Gravity, which is a great name. A good use of the word gravity and tea. Biloma going for the levitation spell. Bunch of witches having a tea party. The general sense of movement is pretty solid. Then we got Daniela doing a quick sketch today. Maybe we should point this out. Maybe this is the time to point this out. As you can see, Daniela very quickly says, I got food poisoning and I'm going back to bed. Strike me. I'll have everyone know that the reason Daniela got food poisoning was because they ate ham. They ate ham. They are a vegan. They haven't had meat in years and years and years. And they were hanging out with a friend. And that friend was like, hey, you want to try this? And they're like, what could it hurt to eat a little bit of ham? Your cadet ham. And they had some pork. And it made them entirely sick for like 2 days. So if you're vegan, don't eat meat. It will attack you violently. So unfortunate there. Then we have Greeblebot with some monkeys in space. Interesting. We do have a little Pinjamin going on up there. In case you remember last year, Pinjamin. Vivov, the party was too boring. Vivov, once again, I'm kicking myself for Vivov even having 2 strikes at this point, because Vivov is really good at a lot of these character poses, a lot of this REM light stuff, just using lighting, and really having a lot of fun with it. Overgang with bringing the character from last prompt into this prompt with a little bit of zero gravity. And it's looking pretty good there. Apple Chancery getting summer camp ideas from the campers. All these people have busy lives and they're still trying to make time each and every day to do a finished art piece. So big respect to everyone, as always. Xing had this one, pretty lovely, sticking to their anime characters and crazy perspectives. I think some of the execution on composition is a little weird because everything's just like forming a little border. And the sense of focal attention is not clearly defined. So that's a minor issue. Fat Cat did come for a second and actually do a little ghostly zero gravity tea party. And it's adorable. Look at how happy these ghosts are. And then we have Puropina. Seems pretty nice. Definitely got some good hand foreshortening pose stuff happening. Wonky Pen, very sus. I'm not sure I fully understand this one either. But I do like the look of it. I do feel like it has some good ideas. Dako went extra adorable. This just looks like straight up splash art. So really nice stuff going on there. Poppy and Nar straight up League of Legends stuff. I don't play League of Legends, so I don't know. Unless they're in Arcane, I have no idea who they are. Not much time today by Megarat. Okay, Megarat ran out of time a little bit. It's still pretty nice. I do like this effect on the ceiling, or not the ceiling, but up above. So, tough decisions. The winner for today, I actually could have been Dako, could have been Fat Cat. I actually did give it to Overgang though. I just appreciated the callback to the last character, and it might not have been the most amazing little representation of a zero gravity tea party or anything, but I just really liked it. I just thought it was really nice. It tickled my fancy with all those colors. The strike today actually went to Algot. As I mentioned, it was just a bit rough with its characters and all the lines and whatnot. So it's fine. Let's move on to assignment 11. So this assignment comes to us from well-known Twitch streamer 39daff, who is, once again, also an artist. And thank you, 39daff, for giving us this prompt, which was a glasswing butterfly sorceress. Let's see, we got Rosa V here with this one. The glasswing effect is mostly in the hair, which is tricky to pull off well, honestly, but I think they did a reasonably good job at their concept. So we also had Gulapa. I'm not in love with a lot of the lines going on with the legs and stuff, because it kind of gets a little bit muddled around the bottom half of the character also, which is all these shapes competing for the silhouette. We had Biloma, who just went overboard with all of these beautiful big, medium, small butterfly shapes. And I really like their kind of cape gown thing. I guess it's more of a cloak, really. Let's see. Yugi-Chu making a straight up Yu-Gi-Oh card. I guess that fits just fine. I did like that. I think that's pretty fun. We had Xing going for this one, which, once again, Xing's just making awesome character drawings and stuff. Just really nice. Now, might not sell the butterfly, but I think you can make a case for it, so it's pretty good. Algot, once again, a lot stronger than their yesterday piece, so that was great to see. Had some good ideas going on there with all those shapes. Kusu went pretty experimental with these wing things and its character as well, the 6-armed character. I think by now you're probably starting to get a pretty good taste for like what Kusu likes to do and what all the other cadets like to do. Megarat went for this little anime maid girl. I really like the extra little, I don't know, layer on their skirt. I think that looks pretty nice, the way it wraps around here. Greeblebot, once again, carrying through a lot of line-based stuff. It's a little bit straightforward, but I think it's a pretty solid character execution. We had Apple Chancery, also, you know, looking pretty good. I like the use of that color palette. I think it's pretty nice. Overgang, just another beautiful piece by Overgang. The only thing that's a little bit awkward is how they're sitting on this broom. That part feels just a little bit too, you know, unattached to their legs. Fat Cat had this one, actual size, represented next to me. But yeah, it's a cute little piece right there. Flying, walking dogs, Super Saiyan. Fat Cat has pretty good sense of humor about everything. Dako just coming through once again, killing it, literally killing someone over here. That's just great. I love the wand, I love the wings, I love the outfit. Super, super good rendering, super good everything. Pro Pena, just a lovely piece. A little bit unfinished, but I like the concept, certainly. It's lovely, very elegant. Vivov, another very unique, interesting piece, almost going into strong Mobius territory. Now, I do feel like this leg goes a little bit too awkwardly. I think it's actually the fact that this part forms like a 90-degree angle is just too distracting. Because 90-degree angles just read in our brain so sharply that they create this stop of flow, and our brain kind of looks down and it stops because it's like, oh, a 90-degree angle. Let me stop my sense of movement just for a moment. But I really like what they were doing with it. Wonky Pen had a pretty just solid, nice, pleasant-looking character here. So, unfortunately, you might notice missing someone. Who are we missing? Oh, we're missing Daniela because of ham. Yes, Daniela actually did drop out because they ate ham. And also, Wonky Pen said they were leaving, so we're just losing them left and right now. It was pretty good up until now, but now we're just dropping like flies. Now, the winner today was Biloma, mostly for this cloak thing. I just really like the character. Sadly, the strike today went to Gulapa. That was their third strike. It was just a little bit too rough with some of the design stuff going on. So, you know, it was good to see them all compete. And I'm honestly just looking forward to seeing what kind of art they all do in the future. But let's move on to assignment 12. All right, we're up to assignment 12, but we've lost a handful of people, so it's going to be a little bit faster. So we have a prompt today by absolutely one of my favorite current artists, and that is Peter Jablonski. Nick Ponum, just an amazing artist, just one of my favorite painters out there. You might know him from like his work on Dishonored or stuff like that. But anyway, he gave me a prompt, and it was a biker gang of seals. which is an illustration prompt. I didn't expect that from him, but here it is. So let's check them out. Up first, we had Bioloma with just a straight up seal pile on a bike. I do love the little action of the car in the background. A lot of little subtle character things happening, which are pretty great. It's a little fun piece by Bioloma. Kusu going, I would say, more of a walrus route, but there are moments in which I'm still wondering whether it was all my fault. I'm okay with it. Rosa went for this one. The seals are just tearing up this cyberpunk land, but I just love the movement on this seal back here. He's just so round. And this guy's got a good movement to him as well. So great job by Rosa. Yugi Chio really bringing out some good character stuff going on here. Yeah, I just love the variety of these. This one's just so innocent. Alcott, you went with the flame helmet. You know, you might have not had any time that day. I don't even think the seal is particularly referenced from any actual seal stuff, because it feels like you just drew from your memory of what a seal might look like. Megaret coming in. We're just gonna have to see what's going on here. It's too much. You guys doing good? Yes, duty calls. And so it's a whole story about seals going on their little adventure together off the cliff. Why not? Why not? We have Vivov here. Got the Supreme. Definitely some interesting legs for a biker seal. I don't know if I'm okay with those legs. They're a little bit uncomfortable. Dang. And then we have this, which, once again, blue team win. Fat Cat's just making straight up giant pieces of animation, which I don't have a good way to show at the proper size. Ah, well, it's fine. You can see it. It's pixel art. It's meant to be viewed at a small size. Just squint your eyes and get in there. Get in nice and close to the screen. Enjoy the tunes as we cruise through the land with our seal biker gang. What do we got? Greeblebot going tough on little Pinjamin here. Pinjamin trying to join the gang. Not really. I don't think the seals are feeling it. Those are pretty good biker seals. And we got Shing going the Mad Max Furry Road. No, that can't be right. Seal Road. But yeah, lovely little Mad Max seals going on here. I love his little face mask. Oh, man. Okay, we got Overgang going wild with these shapes. Got his arms crossed. Pretty good. Wonderful motorcycle. Wonderful. I mean, this might be a little bit excessive, but pretty great design there. Dako went absolutely nuts with the tribute to Nick Ponham, Peter Jablonski, really capturing that look to his art today. And we also had Apple Chancery posing. Look at those guys. And Puro Pena with these lovely little seals in their little penguin motorcycles coming down the avalanche here. The winner today was actually Rosa. Now, there were a lot of good ones. Honestly, I could have picked any myriad of them. They really did an amazing job. But I just thought Rosa's it just felt so fun with its little action, seals flying through. And sadly, Algot got the strike, which it's another third strike. I'm sorry, guys. It just didn't feel like their heart was really in this piece, but it was great seeing Algot. I love Algot, a delightful person, a great artist, but we're down one more person, so let's move on to assignment 13. Now, the number 13 is often viewed as being very unlucky, and honestly, it's about to become a lot more unlucky because I decided to make this our last multi-strike challenge. I don't know why, it just seemed like a good one to do multiple strikes on, so I'm giving strikes to the bottom two on this one. Now, we do have a guest assignment for this one, and it is coming from Sabi. In case you don't know, if you didn't follow past year's Chroma Core, Sabi was a cadet for both Chroma Core 2020 and 2021, and they lasted quite long in both of them, which means Sabi is the cadet that has done by far the most prompts. They have been judged the most in actual Chroma Core cadet battles, more than anyone else. They have participated in so many different prompts over the past 2 years. So wanted to give some love to Sabi there. And they gave us a prompt of egg the ultimate egg. Already people are memeing on the omelets, egg dories, the egg meds, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, look, there he is right now, the egg, the living egg himself. Great to see him there. Love that guy. So here we go. Let's jump into these eggs. We have Bioloma finally found an egg. Bioloma is just using this as a chance to do some cool mech stuff. And once again, I respect that commitment to playing to your strengths. Then we had Rosa V going for the ultimate egg, which looks like a anime movie or something. I would definitely watch this movie. Kusu throwing in some slight Mobius vibes. We got this Fabergé egg, definitely a good piece there. Yugichu, a little dragon guy going on inside this egg here. It's a little bit chaotic with some of these shapes. I feel like it needed just a hint of editing. Xing going for a giant egg chicken thing. This egg is just running a rampage. Fat Cat going for this one. Just lovely atmosphere. What a creepy egg out in the distance. I honestly love this piece. Another one of my favorites by Fat Cat. Greeblebot also sticking to the strengths, industrial design stuff. So that was fun. El Huevo by Overgang is also pretty good. They brought back their little Demon Slayer character. Little callbacks. Nice shapes. Nice execution. Classic Overgang look to this piece. Peropena. Definitely one of Puro Peña's stronger pieces. This one feels very unique, very interesting. It's like a whole city religion built around this giant egg. Apple Chancery, our holy savior. Little yoke boy, a little yoke knight. I do feel like the pose and the just design of the armor is a little bit weak. And Vivulf, who had this one, which also... I really am not sure what they were going for on this one, I'll be honest. It doesn't quite feel super egg-like, and I'm not really sure I understand it. Dako had this little guy coming out of his shell, which is just cute. It's a good Dako one. Sadly, because of time, Mega Rat actually had to drop out as well. Sad to see that. Mega Rat, it was great seeing your art for those first 12 days. Now, I will say that the winner was Fat Cat. As I said earlier, just one of my favorite Fat Cat pieces right there. Obviously, the hardest part is giving 2 strikes to this crowd. I had to give 1 strike to Apple Chancery. Didn't quite seem as interesting as the other things that are going on. The hardest one of all, I had to give another strike because multi-strike challenge to Vivulf. And this was Vivulf's 3rd strike. And I have to say, getting a strike for winning... that's rough. Getting the 2nd strike for this one, for losing on a multi-strike, also rough. Hopefully we'll see more from Vivulf in the future. In fact, you know what? This is a good time to take a little aside here. Let's go back. Let's take a moment to appreciate Vivulf because I have something to share with you guys. Vivulf submitted an entry to Chroma Core 2020. So as you can see, you know, it's got some qualities. It's got some line energy that's pretty nice. The painting, pretty rough, you know, pretty simple, not a whole lot of color variation, just kind of a little bit flat. That was 2020. It's been 2 years since that moment. 2 years from here, and this is them now. This was their entry this year. A pretty ridiculous come up of skill in those 2 years. Let that be your motivation. 2 years to go from this to this, and I'm definitely following Vivulf and looking forward to seeing what they make in the future. Well, let's just move on. Assignment 13 done. Let's go on to assignment 14. All right, assignment 14 comes to us from the wonderful Zach Retz. He does a lot of work in the animation industry on stuff like Into the Spider-Verse, Scoob, Invincible, all the things you like probably. He's just an amazing artist. And he gave me an environment interior prompt, which was vibrant future convenience store. So we got Bioloma up first. We got their cadet working at a convenience store. 20% off all Cinesnacks. Oh man, get your Cinesnacks, guys. A lot of good little references going on. Triangles, eat shapes, you know, all the good stuff. Might not be as future as it could be, but definitely a great piece. And then we had Rosa V going for the bisexual lighting, just really bringing in the blues and pinks. I don't know, compositionally, it doesn't quite have as much depth or, detail stuff as a lot of the others. Then we had Kusu, who had an absolutely ambitious piece in terms of perspective, going straight up curvilinear. I feel like this character was definitely a letdown in terms of pose, but, that's fine. Yugi-Chu has our little guy here, just hanging out, little wanted Tynex poster, ass juice. Definitely has some futuristic stuff happening in there, and it does feel colorful. Greeblebot going for straight up just a little mechanical interior. Got our little robot cashier. Nice colors. Could have used a little bit more signage, little detail stuff, text maybe. Xing had this wonderful piece. Also, crazy perspective stuff. Just really strong perspective. Good details, good ideas. I really like this piece. Fat Cat, no food, only eggs. The vibrancy aspect of it, not super strong. Overgang with the Procreate speedrun. Once again, a great piece. It looks like we're looking from inside like the freezer section. And we had Apple Chancery, going a little more traditional. Doesn't feel super futury aside from the little robot here. There's probably room to clean up some of this anatomy a bit. Daco did this one. So some nice kind of fisheye effect going on here. And the cans, the background, they all look extremely good. Now, it's not hyper vibrant or anything, but really cool piece. And then we had Peropena. Gave us this nice little simple one here, which definitely feels like a convenience store, definitely feels colorful. All right, so the winner today, I had to give it to Xing. This is just such a good energy, such a good kind of colorful, interesting, layout of everything. The little robotic assistant for shopping is great. I love that piece. Sadly, the strike today went to Kusu. I think my main issue was it didn't feel like aside from this person being slightly robotic, doesn't feel super futury, and it wasn't super vibrant. But yeah, I gave the strike to Kusu, so let's move on. Assignment number 15 comes to us from Scott Flanders, a good friend, an artist, sculptor, teacher. You might know him from Proco's channel. He does a lot of stuff on Proco. His son, once again, like last year, he had his son come up with a prompt, and that prompt was Black Widow Knight, which I think is a great prompt. So Rosa had this little spidery looking character. It doesn't read quite as well as it could. Then we went for Bioloma, who just went all the way into a Black Widow Knight kind of thing. This feels like a Dark Souls character. I love it. I think this is awesome. Then we had Yugi-Chu, who went with a slightly more humanoid approach. It definitely has its appeal, and I think it pulls off what it wants to pull off pretty well. Then we had Greeblebot giving us our 8-legged knight guy. Also a pretty good character. It's a pretty interesting, weird one. Then we had Apple Chancery. This one felt a little bit rushed, and some of the limbs here are just kind of awkwardly not as dynamic as they could be. The legs are kind of just drooping. And then there was Kusu. Obviously, Kusu's pretty wild with everything they do, so a very interesting take by Kusu. Then Fat Cat, of course, did some actual animations of an attack. I love that it attacks with the fangs like that, Black Widow attack. I would love to see this in a video game. Overgang, absolutely killing it. Obviously, Black Widows kind of had that trademark hourglass red shape on them, but really good character costuming going on here, just character aesthetics. Definitely love that piece. Same thing for Peropena. Definitely some unique ideas. It's technically got 10 limbs because hands, arms, legs, you got 10. It's too many limbs. Daco, just lovely presentation, although the proportions feel a little bit weird to me. I'm not sure if it quite pulls off what it's aiming for in terms of that. I think it could have used a little bit of editing as well. It feels like one too many ideas made it into the final version. So we got Xing here, just a solid piece there. Feels pretty straightforward. So the winner today, I was already, gushing about a bunch of them. I gave it to Bioloma just because I really appreciate that he was the one who went full-on creature, full-on spider with this one. Overgangs is probably right up there as well. The strike today went to Apple Chancery. Like I said, it was just a bit rough compared to some of the other ones. It felt a bit rushed. So, that was it for that assignment. Let's move on. Assignment number 16 is the return of the graffiti challenge. I've done this every year of Chroma Core, and we'll probably do it every year in the future. That's the challenge. Who can make the best word art using their name or their cadet's name? So we got Rosa V with Sesame. I think it does a pretty good job of staying balanced and doing some stuff. It's a little bit illegible. You kind of want to make sure each letter does its own thing just a little bit. It does get a little bit too chopped up on the right side. Biloma, also pretty decent balance, but these individual letters are feeling a little bit squished, a little bit like they're lacking in their distinct personality. Not ideal on some of those letters. Meanwhile, we got Yugichu, who, once again, everyone's doing a really good job at maintaining like good balance. I could easily see this being in like Jet Set Radio or something. And Kusu just did a scattered shotgun approach with a bunch of different ones. I was forgiving of the shotgun approach at times, but I do feel like certain times it does hurt. So I would have probably tried to limit that to just one or two of the best ones. Greeblebot did this little quo. I don't remember what the character's name is exactly. It's straightforward, well-balanced, good presentation. So I like it. Shing had this one over here. I believe it says Shingtaki, if I'm not mistaken. But it's a little bit chaotic. Overgang, pretty boring. I'm not gonna lie, Overgang. This is a little bit on the boring side, but presentation flourishes, all that stuff. It's kind of making up for somewhat of a weak idea. Peropenia went with a more line-based approach, but looks good. I would say it's strong, well balanced, feels authentic, feels like it has some personality. Then we had Dako. You got a D and an A here. The K and the O are kind of abstracted a little bit too much. It feels like it's relying too heavily on just the fox drawing, but I think the lettering, which was part of the main challenge, is a little rough. We also had Fat Cat. Yeah, I think pixel art makes this one a little bit tricky, but I think the execution and technique are pretty good. And then we had Apple Chancery coming in late with the Ponker. It was supposed to say Rocker. It's a little bit on the rough side. The presentation's a little rough. I do like the Apple Chancery at the bottom, but yeah, the legibility and just the excitement of it, a little bit bad. So anyway, the winner today was Yugichu. Solid, great piece. And the loser today, it was actually Apple Chancery. This was their third strike. It's too bad to see Apple Chancery go. Another great cadet. All right, assignment 17 comes to us from a longtime friend, Jeremy Aninos, who has also given a prompt to every Chroma Core so far. And this is a character design prompt. It is the Dream Peddler. So someone that's selling dreams in some shady way. Anyway, let's take a look at what people did this time. So we got Rosa V, got this Dream Peddler here. I like it. I think Rosa really excels at these types of quick little characters. Fun shapes, good lighting, good colors. It looks great, honestly. Kusu taking the peddler route and just like an illegal street dealer of dreams going on here. Definitely a different approach. Then we have Greeblebot, got our little peddler here. He accidentally broke his little unicorn one. I do like the little dream catcher staff. It's a nice touch. And that's pretty fun. Biloma also going for the dream catcher, but this time it's a big old headpiece. I think this character design is great. The chunkiness of these big dream containers is delightful. Just the character design with all these textiles. Great little piece of art there. Then we have Yugichu. Also lovely. Just, going for the classic mythology. I forget what these are. Whatever Drowsy is. I don't know. But anyway, got this lovely stuff happening here. Nice little clouds, lovely touches, really good piece. Great character design as well. Overgang, love the colors, love the overall effect and look. I have no idea what's going on in this actual character. I don't even know if they're facing me or facing away. It got a little bit muddled. The actual character aspect, I think, got outweighed by just all of the nice little design stuff happening out here. Dako, misread the prompt, and the dream paddler, they're just paddling through dreams. I think it's a pretty delightful misinterpretation, though. I do like the character, like their little wing ears, little face, very interesting looking. Xing had this one, a little bit on the simple side. It's just got the little Sandman pouring out the dream sand. The pose of the legs just feels a little bit awkward. Fat Cat over here had this one, which was nice. You know, this guy's pulling dreams out of all the sleepy children. That might be me for all I know. And looking pretty good, honestly. I definitely like the aesthetic he's going for with this one. And then Pearl Pena, this is, once again, a very solid character design. I like their clothing, costuming, a little nice lining going on in here. Good iconography, so cool. I gave the win to Bioloma just because I thought that was so strong. Could have easily been any number of these, honestly, because the competition's fierce. These people are great. In fact, the strike today went to Overgang, dude. Honestly, the level was so high that I'm like, well, even though this looks pretty nice, the fact that the character feels not very clear was enough. We're down to just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cadets. It's getting a lot more fierce in here, and I'm okay with that. All right, let's check out the next one. All right, assignment 18 comes from our good friend Psychra. I just love Psychra. He's a great person. I think he'll eventually start being more active on YouTube again. So he gave us the industrial design prompt of a steampunk straddle bus. A straddle bus is one of those buses that sits up high and is actually supposed to go like over traffic, like forms a little tunnel under it and cars can go under it. And I think doing a steampunk one is pretty fun. So here we go. We got Rosa here, kind of looking like a straight up train, but you know, it's steampunk, so I guess you can have a straddle bus train. Some of the design elements are just a little bit on the simple boxy side. I do like how they rendered this kind of copper looking metal up here. Bioloma, I love this straddle bus. I love the design of it. I love the wheels. I love the overall just, you know, concept. I think it's really, really nice. We have Fat Cat, who has this giant beast going through. Now, I would say that a lot of these lights and things feel a little bit more techy than they do steampunky, but we do have the little smokestacks and stuff, so that's nice at least. I kind of wish this actual straddle bus was moving as well. It's fine. It's got some good qualities going on. Greeblebot did this one. It's like a little restaurant almost. A nice little bus on top of this nice straddling undercarriage here. And that looks pretty good. Once again, Greeblebot's been very solid with all of his designs, honestly. Yugichu doing this one, a giant thing. This thing is massive. This is like a cruise ship for land. Then we had Kusu giving us this London Bridge aesthetic, but it all feels actually quite practical. And there's a nice structure to how like the actual straddle bus part works. You gotta love it. And then we had Xing. Honestly, some of the front stuff just feels like it's slightly shifted out of perspective. Pearl Pena did a solid job though. Just kept it nice and simple, but effective. And Dako had a tough time with this one. At least that's what they said. But felt pretty good. A little bit struggling with the perspective, like they said. Yeah, you might have noticed, hey, where's Overgang? Overgang dropped out. Overgang's gone. We lost Overgang. I gave him a strike and he left. But he was fine. I loved having Overgang. He'll, you know, always be one of my favorite cadets. So was really happy that he even participated for as long as he did. I gave the win to Kusu. It could have been a couple of them, but Kusu's was just, it was so delightful. And the strike today went to Xing. Once again, it was just a little bit confusing, didn't really set the scale, didn't really feel like the perspective was nailed down. That was it. Yeah, everyone's giving Overgang a hard time. All right, let's move on. Assignment 19 comes from my good friend, Su Lee. Su Lee is, of course, a musician, makes wonderful music from South Korea. I just love their music. It's very catchy. Definitely check it out when you get a chance. The prompt was Mushroom World, so it's an environment prompt. We'll see how people handled it. We got Bioloma And with the little mushrooms, we got mushroom people, mushroom houses, a whole mushroom planet, mushroom decorations everywhere. I do feel like there's room for just a little bit more depth, maybe some brighter lights coming in on some of the foreground stuff. Yugi-Chu has this one. I do think there's a lot of good concepts in here. It probably just needed to take a couple of the ideas and take them out and kind of fill in the gaps with more cohesion. We also have Greeblebot, who has this toxic jungle inspired piece, very much in line with Nausicaa, right? Just very solid piece. It's a great piece. Then we had Shing, just lovely little gradations happening in all the shadows. Really good color mapping. And I love that. I love it. It's great. Just great colors. Very pleasant. You can see how it pops off the page and just makes you happy. And then you had Fat Cat going much more moody, much more dark, much more sinister. As soon as it loads, you'll see it. There we go. Little mushroom guys here hanging out in this mushroom forest. Quite a strong piece there. And Dako, another lovely piece by Dako. Just Dako's so good at getting these subtle little hue variations happening. Just great color shifting. Pretty good stuff going on there. You got Pena, a little bit on the rough side. The composition not really giving you a strong focal point. The skybox also just kind of leading you right off the page. You got an angle that's just hitting right up into this line here. Definitely some issues with that one. Kusu did a sketch, but man, it is an intense sketch. There's a lot. Kusu is just all over the place. Sometimes I feel like I am living in a mushroom world. Yeah. So the winner today, nope, wait, we have to say one thing first. We lost Rosa today. We're just losing people. So Rosa had to drop out. I kind of glanced over it because I thought we'd come back to it. Rosa, great work, great art. Was really glad to see them participate. The winner today was Shing, just for those colors. They're so beautiful. Just the beautiful color palette, the wonderful idea and concept. The strike today went to Pena. Like I mentioned, just not quite as strong as the rest. That, unfortunately, was their third strike. I feel like we're just losing people so fast. Pena did a lot of great stuff throughout this competition. But yeah, unfortunately, we did lose Pena today as well. Only 7 people left, guys. We are getting down to it surprisingly fast. So let's move on. Assignment number 20 comes to us from my old pal Flaptraps, Richard Anderson. Flaptraps was one of my drawing buddies from the earliest days of my art career back in conceptart.org. Now he's just an industry professional doing awesome stuff. Absolutely love his art, always have. But anyway, he gave us a prompt, which is a fireproof, waterproof, full body VR suit for your cadet to wear. I'll give you a little bit of lore real fast. So obviously during the first 6 assignments, we were talking about the excavation, the reconstruction phase of our Chroma Core Academy. Then we went into all of these guest prompts, and now we're kind of slowly working back to what our cadets are actually doing. So all of our cadets have been taking their Chroma Core classes in VR, and they're gonna have to design their actual VR outfits right now. So we got Biloma with Emily's VR outfit. So a lovely little thing. Once again, Biloma just loves to draw his robot. But we got some nice mechanical industrial design stuff happening here, which of course Biloma just excels at. So no surprise there. We have Yugi-Chu doing this one, and I don't feel like its shapes necessarily complement the rest of the character as well as they could. But that being said, I do like the general look of the character. I think there's some pretty good qualities going on. The hair looks great. A lot of what Yugi-Chu does is quite great. Then we have Greeblebot. Once again, amazing industrial design stuff. Great with the details. Feeling pretty good about that. The helmet could use a little bit more interest. Once again, I feel like Greeblebot is missing a chance to use graphic design stuff, whether it be little pieces of text, maybe little, designs and, stickers, whatever. I think that's the one thing I would recommend really strongly to Greeblebot. It's bring in some little text, some little, flourishes like that, because most industrial design stuff does have little warnings, has little, brand markers, whatever you want to say. Kusu, also going pretty crazy with this one. I love the actual VR helmet. It's just massive. It's just a massive thing that comes down. They got them eating their food inside their giant VR suit, but I love it. Xing went with this one. It feels like they're just in VR land, but you know, there could be a little bit more of a suit design because this is an industrial design. Technically, this prompt was supposed to be kind of industrial costume. Definitely water fireproof. Okay, we got this one. By the way, it was Xing's birthday today. So, you know, I guess I'll cut them a little bit of slack because it's their birthday. So, you know, they got this nice little birthday image, and Fat Cat made a nice little Xing birthday party going on here. Docked in his VR little docking thing. Here's the little birthday buds. You got Fat Cat, Daco, Palomar, Xing, Apple Chancery, and Danielle, all of Blue Team having a little party for Xing. Daco has this one as well, which I love it. I just love the weirder characters because it's such a great opportunity to show off weird designs, you know? We got the whole tail and wings inside of a VR suit, and it just looks great, honestly. The winner today, I actually gave it to Daco. This is really good. The strike today went to Xing because it's their birthday. Happy birthday, Xing. Enjoy the birthday strike because I'm an evil person and everyone was mad at me for giving a strike on someone's birthday. But that's fine. I'm okay with that. I feel nothing. Let's move on. All right, assignment number 21 comes to us from Ditus. Yes, another old pal from YouTube. Ditus makes wonderful little storytime YouTube videos, so, you know, check out his channel sometime. He's given us a prompt for every year of Chroma Core also, and his prompt this year was sea creatures taking a smoke break at work. So an illustration. Let's see how everyone did with this one. We got Yugi-Chu, this nice little piece, got these nice characters taking their little smoke break. I like the little, you know, the little foot restaurant they're working at. Some good little character stuff going on there. Greeblebot, adorable little crab and octopus with their giant human cigarettes. I do like the throwback to the graffiti over here. So some nice little touches there. The coloring doesn't necessarily look like they're underwater, but you know, it's fine. We'll let that go. We got Kusu's did an actual like album cover. I keep joking about album covers, but Kusu made an actual album cover. The Sea Slug Gang. All right, they're just a bunch of smoking sea animals. By Loma, we got a bunch of chefs, you know, on break from the kitchen at the fish and chips over here. Fat Cat. A little bit of a different palette than we've seen from Fat Cat. Going with the outdoors, pleasant, creepy Cynics mermaids, which, I don't know, the less I think about these, the better. But I do like these little smoking fish and octopus fishermen. Yeah, it's adorable. It's great. Daco brought back his other character from the Vampire Age, but I would say this is a little bit awkward in terms of character interaction. It's not Daco's strongest piece. I feel like the composition is just could be a little bit balanced better. You might be wondering, oh, wait, hold on, that was only 6. Yes, I'm sorry. Apparently giving people strikes on their birthday gets them to quit. So Xing has dropped out as well. No, that's not the reason. I promise. Maybe it is. No, Xing was very busy. This was during Evo weekend, and Xing was actually doing Artist Alley at Evo. So they just weren't able to keep up with the demands of doing Chroma Core, along with all the other stuff they had been going on. I know that Xing hadn't gotten any sleep for like 2 days leading up to this decision to drop out. So it's probably the smartest decision. I am very sad to see Xing go because Xing just did amazing stuff. But anyway, Fat Cat is going to be the winner today. I just think it's cute. It's fun. It's another one of my Fat Cat classics here. And I actually gave the strike to Daco. Daco's first strike. The rest just felt a little more interesting in my opinion. It's fine. You can disagree on that one potentially, but I'm okay with it. All right, assignment 22 comes to us from Ahmed Aldoori, my good close friend, who I absolutely adore. He gave us the illustrative prompt of cloud climbers. There's a whole bit of text, but I'll just, I'll sum it up and call it cloud climbers. You can figure out your own narrative. But definitely check out Ahmed Aldoori's Instagram, check out his YouTube channel, check out his Meds Map course, which is, of course, one of the prizes for winning Chroma Core. He's just a great person all around, great for the community. And there he is, the legend, the man, the myth, the legend. Great to see him there. All right, so we got Yugi-Chu. Has some minor compositional issues in terms of like just everything being pretty equally spread. It's kind of hard to tell where you're supposed to focus in on as a second read because there's like, you got like 3 options going on. It's not too bad or anything. We got Kusu with a giant block inside of some clouds. Not sure I fully understand what he's going for with this one. And then we had Bailoma, who really just went all into the extreme climbing of clouds. So great piece right there. Love the colors. Very cool. Greeblebot had this one, which has these little cool guys climbing up on the side here while some creatures float over the clouds. Could use a little bit more edge control stuff, but once again, Greeblebot's main strength is in, design and line. Fat Cat going for this one, which is very adorable. You got a cat stuck in a tree out here in the clouds. This person climbing up with a little rope here. Some interesting little graphic design touches. I think it's pretty solid overall. And Dako as well, got the little guy climbing into the clouds over here. Great painting, we've become desensitized to Dako's amazing painting skills. And it looks like the light on the plants has gone off, so I guess they're taking a nap back there. So anyway, the winner today, I had to give it to Bailoma. This just felt so fleshed out. And so, fun and happy. The strike today went to Kusu, just because I still don't understand it. I don't know what it represents. I'm dumb. I don't know. But anyway, let's just move on. Assignment 23. This is going to be a return to the Chroma Core Academy. So I wanted them to finally reopen the Chroma Core Academy, which means they have to redesign it. And I wanted them to redesign it as an overwhelmingly plant-filled academy. So it's kind of an architecture landscape challenge, but I want them to incorporate as many plant life things as they could, because Chroma Core is all about being carbon neutral. So we got Bailoma here, drawing our nice new lovely Chroma Core campus with just plants growing everywhere, which is exactly what I was mentioning. Yes, lovely plants everywhere. I'm digging it. I think it looks great. Nice little piece there. Could use a little bit more like direct lighting stuff, but it's fine. It's fine. It's good. It's pleasant. We got Yugi-Chu's here. A little bit awkward on some of the color choices. I feel like it doesn't quite feel as atmospheric as it could. I do like the big Chroma Core kind of logo of the building, but it got a little bit too weird and choppy in a couple parts. And I'm not in love with some of the background choices. Kusu went for this very narrative approach. I don't know how they do it, but you won't believe how sweet their papayas are. They also did like a little bit of this, but a little bit of an architecture drawing. Some great architectural design and presentation going on there. Then we had Greeblebot, this was probably pretty on the nose. You got the mech hangers. It is a mech school after all. Maybe there could be a little bit more personality to some of these buildings, but it's fine. I like it. I think it's very functional. Fat Cat made this one, which, hey, that's me. I'm taking my child Fat Cat to school for the first day at a new school. But yeah, I like that piece. Very pleasant looking. And Dako with another nice little piece going on here. Maybe the perspective might be a little bit skewed on this other half over here. For the win, I could have gone a lot of different ways. I kind of just gave it to Kusu just because I love this illustration of architecture so much. Unfortunately, though, the strike did seem a little bit more clear in my brain, and I gave it to Yugi-Chu. This was Yugi-Chu's third strike, so we lost another one. We're down to just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 now. Just 5 cadets. That's all we have left. Yugichu did some amazing art. Definitely enjoyed having them. Let's keep going. Assignment number 24 was a industrial design challenge from Arn, Nicholas Jansen, Android Arts. I don't know the right name to call him, but absolutely one of my favorite people in the art world. Mostly because of his website, which I can just talk about forever. This is his website. It's called androidarts.com. Best website on the internet. I browse it whenever I'm feeling like my motivation is a little bit low. You'll understand why if you start digging into it. So they gave us the industrial prompt of a gardening drone. So this fits perfectly. We have our new academy open. It's overwhelmingly covered with plants. We need some gardening drones to take care of all these plants. So let's see what we got. We got Biloma. Obviously, Biloma is quite good in industrial design. We can always zoom in here and be like, oh, that's very functional. That looks great. A lot of good stuff going on in there. Daco here, which is looking pretty cute. This little bee guy, a little bit out of perspective. I feel like Daco's perspective issues might be rearing their head a little bit, but still a really fun little design, kind of this bee vibe. Greeblebot. A little just logos, design, some surface texturing stuff would go so much further, because I feel like all the designs Greeblebot does have a lot of good strength, but they just feel a little bit devoid of like that extra little cherry on top. Kusu went for this just shotgun approach again. And there were a couple in here that I really like, actually. But then there's a couple in here that I'm feeling pretty weak about. At this stage in the game, the shotgun approach is a little bit risky. Then we have Fat Cat. It's nice, it's pleasant. It's not the most exciting design-wise, shape-wise. But the presentation is, of course, amazing. I love the little exploded view. The winner, I had to give it to Biloma. It just felt the most functional, the most effective as an industrial design. And then, sadly, I had to give the strike to Kusu. Now, unfortunately, that was actually Kusu's last day. So, another one gone, which means we're down to just Biloma on Team Gold. We're down to just Greeblebot on Team Pink, and then Team Blue with Daco and Fat Cat, who are both just been killing it the whole time. Let's move on. All right, we're near the end. We only got 4 cadets left. It's time to go into our final series of prompts. So starting up with our homecoming prompt, it's gonna be a school dance. Every cadet has to design something fashionable to wear to the dance, and they also have to invite another cadet to go with them, and they have to design their outfit too. Honestly, if you come into the Discord for anything, you should come into the Discord to look at all of the follow-alongs for this prompt specifically, because all of the adorable little things that people made of their cadets going to the dance with other cadets, it was just delightful. So we had Fat Cat doing this little version of his cadet with Daco's cadet. Even a lot of little references. We got Shamalu's little carrot person cadet. We got App's Benjamin cadet. We have Fishing's little fishy, water cadet. I don't remember if it has a name. So that's really good. Oh yeah, the balloon is Sabi, of course. Okay. Biloma has their cadet dancing with Greeblebot's cadet. A little bit of being the last person on each team. They just had to, have some fun. Go out dancing, party it up a little bit. So that was adorable. We also had Greeblebot drawing the opposite perspective, going with Biloma as well, but giving them some different outfits. And then you had Daco down here with this little tux on, going with, I believe that's Apple Chancery's cadet. But basically, I've been looking at all the cadets all day long, all the follow-alongs. It was just so wholesome. I couldn't break it to myself to give anyone a strike on this day. And Homecoming actually marked the start of a very important sub-tournament inside our bigger tournament. Because it was at this point we wanted to start Spirit Week. And this is going to take a moment to talk about. So let's just get into it. So simply put, we're going to have a 5-day mini tournament. I'm calling it Spirit Week. Basically, there's going to be 5 days of challenges. Whichever team or person representing a team gets the most points during this Spirit Week challenge, their team, or just them, if it's one person, will be the winners of Chroma Core, or they'll go on to the next stage, you might say. Basically, every single day, I'm ranking them all from 1 to 4. There's only 4 cadets. First place gets 4 points. Second place gets 3 points. Third gets 2. Fourth gets 1. At the end of 5 days, we see who has the most points, and they win. If a blue team person wins, then both blue team people win. So no more strikes. We're just looking at 4 pieces of art, and we're going to see who did the best. So for day number 1 of Spirit Week, it was creature design, and they had to design a team mascot. We have Biloma, who made this Jin the Gold Dragon for the gold team. It's this nice little dragon. It's got a cute little personality going on there. It's pretty cute. It's got some good qualities going on. Greeblebot made Link. I think that's called Link. Yeah, Link, the hot pink mascot. I feel like some of these shapes got a little bit too chaotic for their own good, but definitely some nice little creature drawing-esque stuff going on in there. Fat Cat had this little mascot, which combines all of the blue team, the little glasses, the helmet, the little ear things, the wings, just a little bit from every single cadet. Not the most desirable looking aesthetic in the end. I feel like the double ears and some of the other things could have been a little better. Meanwhile, Daco made this lovely character right here, which looks absolutely amazing. You know, great personality, great design, great aesthetics, just all around good. So obviously, first place went to Daco. Second place, I gave it to Biloma. I just like that little character there. Third place actually gave to Greeblebot for this one. And fourth place went to Fat Cat for this one. Good idea, just not in love with the execution of it. So that was it for day 1. Let's see how day 2 went. For day 2, we're just having a bake-off, so each cadet must prepare some delicious dessert snacks to basically represent their team, but to also sell at a potential bake sale. So I was letting the viewers kind of vote for their favorite by putting little hearts next to their favorite pieces and stuff like that. That's not the only deciding factor, but I thought it would just be fun. Anyway, we have a lot of cute little stuff here. Fat Cat has this lovely little animation of little tiny Cynics going up, looking like some old style Animal Crossing Harvest Moon, and purchasing some blue slime jello from the blue team, made with friendship and everything. So a great little animation there, very cute. I appreciate it. Biloma did a whole Team Gold mixture, all the cadets of Team Gold kind of doing their own little thing, representing each cadet a little differently. It's pretty nice. It looks pretty good. The overall presentation is solid, but not necessarily overwhelming. But it does have some clever little ideas going on, which was great. I do appreciate that a lot. Meanwhile, Greeblebot got some hot chocolate there. Delicious looking stuff happening. I would have, this would be the perfect time to just paint out the line work, because if this was more painted, without those dark black lines on everything, I feel like it could look a lot better. But nonetheless, we also have Daco, who brought back their little mascot from the day before. And man, Daco just killing it with the rendering. This thing looks delicious. We got this blueberry moth cafe with blue team cheesecake and a Fat Cat chocolate. Oof, the lighting on it is so nice. So Fat Cat, I actually gave the win to, just for everything they did. It could have gone either way. It could have gone to Daco, honestly, but I just really liked what Fat Cat did with this one. So Fat Cat and Daco were 1 and 2. Biloma was number 3, and Greeblebot was number 4 on this one. So, you know, day 2, that's how our bake-off went. Spirit Week Day 3 was a focus on the arts. So we're going to pretend that we're all artists, and every cadet is going to have to draw a portrait of another cadet. This is like the most wholesome time of the whole server. where everyone's just like happily drawing each other's cadets. So let's see what we did. We got Bioloma drew Overgang's cadet, Prima. There's a lot of good little touches going on. The hair looks great. Some of the face and the anatomy stuff could have been just a little bit stronger. Greeblebot decided to actually draw Kusu's cadet. So a little cross-team love going on there. And once again, some good line work going on, but I think the painterly aspect of it just feels a little bit on the rough side. We do have Fat Cat, though, with this lovely version of Ham. Once again, Daniela's cadet. I didn't think Fat Cat would have anything for Portrait Day. I thought, oh, for sure Portrait Day is going to stump Fat Cat. But they actually did a really lovely piece for Portrait Day. I love the little water part. The little character, little sheet here, plus a little Sabi for fun. And then Dako did Vivof's cadet. So lovely little representation of them here. Pretty strong. So today, once again, Fat Cat, the winner, 2 days in a row of Spirit Week. So really strong there. I couldn't deny it. Dako, really strong presentation there. So they got second again. And blue team seems to be running away with it. But Bioloma is hanging in there. He got third today. And of course, Greeblebot in fourth. But yeah, let's see the next day. For day 4 of Spirit Week, we had a little soapbox derby. So this was an engineering challenge, and I actually challenged them to try to make soapbox derby cars using some of the leftover parts from the mech challenge from last year's Chroma Core. So I thought that would be fun, give them a little curveball to think of stuff. Greeblebot did this little car right here, which kind of feels adorable, and I kind of love it. Feels like something out of Speed Racer. Bioloma really went nuts on this one. Just represented all of the different robots from that Angel Mech challenge, and really just went overboard, included all of the different gold team cadets. I'm even back there just chilling in my little go-kart. They all have so much personality. Really fun piece of art there. Dako did this one, which once again has some great personality. This little angel riding this little angel mech soapbox derby car. It's falling apart on them. It's all twisted. I love the action shot. That's great. And Fat Cat, who has this one, which to be fair, doesn't really feel too much like a soapbox derby car, but you know, that's fine. They're a little bit strange at times. But yeah, the winner today was actually Bioloma. So Bioloma, not out of it, coming back a little bit. Actually right behind Dako, because Dako was in second with this one. And I actually had to put Greeblebot in third for this one, and Fat Cat was actually in fourth this day. So that brings the point total, if you're paying attention. Bioloma's got 12, Dako's got 13, Fat Cat's got 11, Greeblebot's got 6, and there's only 1 day left. The final day of Spirit Week is here, and this is going to be an athletic challenge. So I decided to construct a giant skate park on campus, and we're gonna have a best trick competition at Chroma Core for our final day of Spirit Week. So you can grab your skateboards, roller skates, BMX, scooter, whatever, I don't care. Just do your best action pose of you doing an awesome trick at the skate park, and you can win this challenge. So this is what it all came down to. So first off, we have Greeblebot. And Greeblebot, I think, really shines with something like this because great poses, great drawing. This could have used a little bit more energy on this little kickflip here, but, you know, looking pretty good. Love their character over here with the roller skates. My only main issue is that the drawing's great, but it doesn't quite sell it with the surrounding stuff as much as it could. But anyway, we got Bioloma. It's got this character here. Got the inline skates going, grinding on their mech. Pretty cool. Got some nice foreshortening, crazy perspective. Looking strong, you know? Everyone's going in pretty strong on this last day of Spirit Week. We also have Fat Cat here. So that's cool. We got a little ollie there. Got a little shove it there. We got a little grab there. What else we got? A little kickflip. Nice. So yeah, a fun little piece by Fat Cat. And finally, basically Dako decided to go nuts. Daco just was like, hey, I want to win. So I'm just going to do a crazy pose for like everyone. We got Palomar's cadet, Apple Chancery's cadet. They're all doing crazy poses. Just absolutely dynamic. Look at the skateboard. Look at all the foreshortening going on here. Just absolutely killing it. We got Daniela and Shing's cadet both rocking it too. Very cool. And finally, we got Daco and Fat Cat's cadets, cruising on by. Going through all of those, it was tough. Who's going to win? Who will win? Who's the winner of it all? Well, of course, the winner is Daco. Daco got first, by Loma second, Greeblebot third, Fat Cat fourth. But that doesn't matter because Blue Team officially is the winners of Spirit Week. Yes, Shing, you predicted it correctly. With all this lovely little illustration here. Blue Team has officially won Chroma Core by winning Spirit Week. Daco and Fat Cat are the last remaining cadets standing. They have beat out everyone. They have done it. They have risen to the top and represented modern day James and the Blue Team to just go on and win and be the strongest. Much love for everyone. Obviously, by Loma and Greeblebot. Amazing competitors. I love their industrial design. I love everything I saw them do. Just some great people. So really enjoyed them. Really happy that they participated this year. But yeah, congrats to Blue Team. Now, obviously, there's still two of them, and they have the opportunity now to either collab and both take the prize, or potentially to fight each other. And maybe only one becomes the winner to see who the true best one is. But we only have one assignment left to figure that out. All right, we did it. We made it to the end. We have the final prompt here from last year's team captain winner, Steven Zapata, a wonderful YouTuber and artist who obviously picked the best team last year. So he came back to give us our final prompt, which is, to the victor goes the spoils. Now, will they collab? I don't know. It is tradition, but it's only tradition because people keep doing it. It doesn't have to be tradition. That's fine though. It's fine. Let them collab if they want. So there was a lot of back and forth, a lot of chatting, once again, a lot of celebrating all around for Blue Team for winning this thing. Unfortunately, they didn't get it in before the end of the night because they actually had bad internet and it was uploading by the time the time rolled around after midnight. So technically they both lost, but we're gonna pretend that I'm generous. So they didn't both lose, they both won. They collabed on something, and here it is. Here's their little collab. We have a nice little tribute to all of the people that participated. Blue Team, Gold Team, Pink Team, all that happy, nice stuff. And a lovely little end title screen with both Daco and Fat Cat victorious. It's a great end to another great year, honestly. I'm always so proud of like the finale because it's always so wholesome. And I'd be happy either way. If people want to fight, that's fine too. There's a wholesomeness in that. But I do like their little collabs. They're kind of adorable. We have made Cynics pay for what he has done. You can now rest in peace. Great. Vivo would have loved this. Yeah, that happens to be one of the memes that came out of all of this, was Vivo would have loved to be here. Vivo would have loved this prompt. I'm sorry, Vivo. Anyway, I'll just loop that again so I can keep talking. I just want to say, what an amazing group of 18 cadets we had this year. You know, they're always so good. They're just always surprising me. There's always twists and turns. But every year, Chroma Core just manages to be this wonderful, wholesome activity. And man, I can't thank people enough for letting me host such a fun event each year. If you're just watching this, I know it's super long, but maybe you're sleeping or something. Try to participate next year. Doesn't matter if you're good, if you're bad, you know, you can just kind of follow along. You can just enjoy it. Enjoy being around other art people because that's what it's all about. It's just about hanging out with people who share your interest and having a good time. Speaking of it, in that vein, before I close things out for this year, this wouldn't work anywhere near as well as it does without the wonderful, wonderful follow-alongs. So let's just hop in there real fast. 10,000 pieces of art were created just in this 1 month on this one server. And that is wild. That is impressive. It is ridiculous. It is a lot of art. But we have all of the people here posting their big collabs of all the art they've done. Fenrix, Cornelius, they're all making their little tribute pieces to all the fun we had this year, putting their collages together from all the art they made, doing their little farewell pieces, the Chroma Core Art Summer Camp piece. Oh, it's just so adorable. I love this stuff. I love these little art pieces that are just like very specific to, this little event. It's a little tiny 6. And just so much fun, just so many memories wrapped up in all this stuff. And I just love it. So yeah, I just want to shout some of these people out. So yeah, Jorts, someone that was doing a bunch of great art pieces, a bunch of little cadet collabs going on there. Yudi did tons of entries. You can see a ton of tiny Cynics, clever little things, cloud climbers climbing a actual 3-dimensional cloud from Final Fantasy VII. Just all sorts of good stuff. So everyone was doing their big entries here. Wisteria, love seeing their art. They've been a regular. Jeb Cosby, love their art. Very cute, very fun, very wholesome. We got, there's more Fenrix. All this stuff, Panacea Power. Just little Chroma Core things happening everywhere. Lion Frog doing a little Daco stuff going on there. Yeah, look at that. Cute little tribute piece by Starship, or S Starship, I guess, technically. They're another just amazing artist. Elodin, Lenny, Chubi. Saw a lot of Chubi stuff. Definitely another great artist doing follow-alongs. Elodin did a ton. Drew almost everyone, I feel like. Aster. I don't know what to make of this. That's too much for me. Monkey. But basically, I could just keep scrolling up and seeing all these familiar names. Strivek did some killer stuff. I absolutely love what they did. Like, these cadet pieces, though. Like the little blue team wins. The little skateboarding stuff. The Gulapa cadet portrait. Just amazing stuff there from Strivek. We had Owen here, did some amazing art as well. Some really creepy stuff as well. All kinds of good stuff. Vega with the little party, a little celebration. Silva there. Tanzite did a bunch of cool stuff as well throughout the whole tournament. Al Desri, really great piece. Love their cadet, honestly. And they did a lot of great art. I think they got every prompt in there. Yep, assignments complete. So many people. Lion Frog, always happy to see them. We got Captain Blue, another great person there. Asm, yep, just so many people. Moonlion Studios, Cucumber Squad represented. Clockwork Fish, who I believe has done almost every... I think they've done every prompt since the start, if I'm not mistaken. There's a handful of people that have done all 3 years, every single prompt, and that is quite a achievement. 3 years in a row doing all the prompts. There's like a handful of people that have done that. I think Clockwork Fish might be one of them. We have Drawkey, great character. They have little old Cynics skateboarding. That's me. That's what I'm gonna look like in like, I don't know, at least like one more year, I guess. Diego, great stuff this year. Musa Croxy, I don't know how to say it exactly. Great stuff. 15th. Thank you for all of that. Paradox. Just so many. I can spend the next hour probably going through these. I don't know. I kind of want to a little bit. Elodin's looking great here. Naka, one of my absolute favorites. Just got to say that I'm a huge fan of Naka's work. They did probably out of all the follow-alongs, probably my top choice. Just absolutely amazing work. Every single assignment. And yeah, definitely one of my top follow-alongs. Would have probably won the whole thing if they were in it. Just gonna say that. Just so many good people. So many good people. I also want to mention Tremont. Tremont did a full-on tribute to, I don't know, I think like, how many cadets is this? All of the cadets are represented. A good chunk of the follow-alongs. You got like Double and Fashines, who, by the way, I'm missing out on so much lore. They were actually nominated Homecoming King and Queen, and they won. I chose them as Homecoming King and Queen from our Homecoming dance. They had the loveliest follow-along pieces, so I decided to make them Homecoming King and Queen. So Double and Fashines, congrats on that. But just all these familiar names, familiar faces. Shamalu, just always doing, the great carrot pieces. So yeah, Gulapa managed to finish every single prompt, even after getting knocked out. Appreciate that. Very good from Gulapa. Frost, all those strong ones, a la Laura. More stuff there. Zelenya, another familiar name. A lot of great stuff happening there. Yeah, just all around good stuff. Bailoma putting it all together in a little collage. Tuoni looking great. Yeah, Humab, the very late prom pictures. Yeah, there was so many good ones from our little homecoming dance. Monkey Blee, Hardcore Chewy. Had so many collages at the end. MBQ, one of my favorite cadets. So I'll take a moment to just demonstrate why MBQ is so great. Just absolutely lovely, clean, nice, confident lines on everything, and good perspective. Just good execution. Really nice stuff. Some good little jokes going on there. Is that with a buff version of me buying some Genshin Impact body pillows, I guess. But yeah, just amazing stuff all around. So I love it. Time for Chroma Core, indeed. The most accurate drawing that's ever been done of this is how I look when I'm browsing on the Discord for sure. But anyway, Kohime, very good pieces as well. Ren, all 31 days complete. Impressive. All this stuff. Digby came in late and I think did like every assignment like during the past week. Noodle Master, great stuff. Yalak, I love Yalak. Yalak does some awesome work. Might be worth taking a moment to appreciate some of this chaos happening in here. But it's really good. We also had a Double, who I mentioned, Homecoming King Double. Was very popular in the follow-alongs. Everyone loves this cadet. I don't know why you made the image so tiny. Why doesn't it want to be big? That's it? That's the full resolution? Okay, Double, never mind. I said all these nice things about you, but this resolution stinks. Stinks. It's a bad resolution. I can't even see this amazing art you did, and it's all really good. I promise you. So yeah. Neiman Within, myself, Steffels, who else we got? Camillus, Martin, and against stuff, Aldessari. Yeah, got all the little cadets celebrating, or the little follow-alongs. Benjamin, Shamalu, Arnold the Giraffe, Shamalu Carrot Person, Benjamin by App, MVQ's little rabbit girl. Just all of this stuff. Yeah, really cool. Steg absolutely is disgustingly good as well. So Steg should probably shout this out just because they're absolutely doing some amazing work. Very strong illustrations every single day. So great work there. We also have, let's see, who else we got in here? Monkey, of course. Mr. Green. Did amazing stuff as well. Really liked what Mr. Green did all year long. So Tofu, all 31 in there. Nice. Fudge Cake Devil, more familiar names. Great stuff. Paradox. Yeah, I don't even know. Lobster Sauce. How many can we go through? Ashy Adobo. It's like every time I scroll up, I'm seeing more and more just names of amazing artists. Ashy Adobo did some really cool stuff. Just absolutely lovely stuff happening in there. Look at that abstract piece. It's wild. And the ultimate egg looking like that Dark Souls boss. This is such a good piece. Oof. All right. Yeah. No. Ashy Adobo just absolutely crushing it. Just really good pieces. Yeah. Another person. Once again, if I had to pick my follow along all-star team. Speaking of follow along all-star, Shamalu with Carrot Person, one of our favorite follow along cadets. Just doing amazing work this year. I absolutely love what Shamalu's doing, the little pixel art version. A lot of the illustrations just kept getting stronger and stronger. There was a narrative through line of every single piece they did, and I respect that so much. It was just so good. So Shamalu, big love to Shamalu on that one. There's, of course, Grampus. I haven't turned 40 yet, guys. For the record, I do turn 40 this year. At the end of the year, I will be 40. No more Chroma Core in my 30s. I'll have to be hosting Chroma Core as a 40-year-old person. So this was the last Chroma Core of a young person, relatively. Anyway, we got Azzy Sugito, who was the alternate for Team, I think it was Team Blue, right? Yeah, they did some great stuff. Just going back into all of the little things. So I enjoy horrible squeak schemes. Yeah, some familiar faces. We got Hume doing their little ending up, wrapping things up piece, showing love for all of Blue Team. You know, Shing, Daco, Daniela, Palomar, Fat Cat, Apple Chancery. Respect to that. Ashy Adobo made this amazing ending piece. Look at these pillars of cynics. And the winners, Fat Cat and Daco. Plus the other Blue Team members, like, reflected in the ground. Just a great art piece. And yeah, Noir, Panacea again, Chubby, yeah, Lion Frog. Just so many great people just posting all these cool little images. So you love to see it. You love to see this much love going around to all of these different cadets. You know, people showing their support for all these people. Chipniks did amazing stuff all year long. Yeah, just great. It's just great to see it. You love it. They're just great people. Fishings, another well-loved cadet. They had this wonderful cadet, the little water one, which became, once again, a fan favorite. And they did great pieces all throughout the entire event. Once again, Fishings managed to be homecoming queen with their little cadet here. Their cadet managed to become homecoming queen. But yeah, just a lot. There they are, the royalty, homecoming royalty down here with their collection of Tynixes, their reward. But there's their little dancing together. Yeah, it's just good, wholesome stuff. I am the luckiest person in the art community to be able to get to enjoy all this stuff. Cornelius did like traditional pieces every day, which is ridiculous. Sad Frog, the alternate for Team Pink, did an amazing job as well. Hopefully they get selected as a proper first string cadet because they do amazing work. Definitely like what Sad Frog brings to the table. A lot of good designs, a lot of fun stuff. Mushroom World, ooh, it's great. So Pokio. It's just so good, you know? So I should wrap things up though. It's probably been like forever. This video is probably a feature-length film again. I know, I didn't mean for it to be. I get carried away when I look at the art and I want to talk about it. None of this stuff would be possible if I didn't have a YouTube channel that had a big enough community to draw from and do these types of things. So thank you. Love your art community. Love your fellow artists. Try to support your fellow artists and try to do things in life, in your business decisions that are supportive of the art community. I can't stress that enough. There's a lot of kind of predatory things that sometimes happen in the art world, whether that be through just business practices taking advantage of people financially because they promote the idea of in-groups and out-groups in order to make wealth and hoard wealth. But, you know, sometimes it's about a little bit more than money. And sometimes it's just about the love of art, the passion for art, regardless of money, regardless of financial stuff. I know regardless of how much money I had or didn't have, I would still just love to be able to run this every year. I don't do it for any kind of money or exposure. I just do it because, I mean, look at it. It's just happy and it's just fun. And this is why I love art. This is why I got into art. I'm glad we can all enjoy it together. Just all this stuff. There's our little guy. There's our little giraffe. We haven't seen him. Pinjamin is floating around here somewhere as well. There it is. A little Pinjamin action. But yeah, it's great, you know? It's great to see all this stuff just come to fruition. And I'm looking forward to doing it again next year. So thank you all so much for watching, participating, being a follow along. Special shout out to all the Patreon supporters. I've been neglecting them a little bit because of Chroma Core. Kind of got wrapped up in the Chroma Core server. I'm going back to my server though. I'll start doing stuff in there with all my Patreon people. All right, I was trying to wrap things up, but I just want to mention a couple things because we got this great piece from Biloma of Team Gold playing Monopoly together. Just wanted to share that. We have CYK doing this little mashup of all the blue cadets, the winning team. Crestal with their little collage. Novahedron, another wonderful follow-along person doing great stuff. Alto, good stuff there. Ants. Ringarune, one of my absolute favorite follow-alongs. I know I keep saying that, but I have like 10 follow-alongs that I just think are so good. And Ringarune, definitely one of them. Here's Jort's little collage there. Aster made this lovely piece of all of them winning. Yeah, more just cute stuff. All these little blue team pieces. I think I'm actually just going to keep browsing these. I'll just fade this out. It's fine. I just want to keep looking and stuff. Every time I start looking, I can't stop. Oh, man. L stuff. A little collabs there. There's all stuff from Campus. Sir Chinchin, Monkey Bleed, Jelly, JPEG, Funky Pepe. I didn't even get to Funky Pepe. I love Funky Pepe. What else we got? This looks like, yeah, Tatch up here. Ooh, Kuzalon. We didn't even get to Kuzalon's one. Okay, that's great too.